Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Detroit.
Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is presented by
Bell Tire.
Tonight, the Tigers Roadshow moves to Minneapolis, where they take on a Twins team that they have absolutely dominated the last 2 years, 19-6 against the Minnesota Twins since the start of the 2016 season. Hopefully more of that good karma here tonight. Nice night for baseball as we welcome you to Minneapolis. It is game one in this three-game weekend series featuring the Tigers and the Minnesota Twins. Hi again, everyone, and welcome to Tigers Baseball. Mario and Pemba alongside Rod Allen. Glad to have you with us here for game one in this series. Favorable matchup, to say the least, Rod. The Tigers have pounded the Twins over the last couple of years, and they really need this team right now.
Well, and the Tigers need to go about their business a little bit better than they did in last night's game. Get that taste out of your mouth because that was a really bad game. But they have played some outstanding baseball against the Minnesota Twins. As a matter of fact, the Twins have not won a division game against the Tigers. I mean, a series against the Tigers, the only team in the Central they have not done that against. So I'm looking for big things tonight for the Tigers.
All right, now the Tigers have a trio of guys in their lineup tonight that really hit well here at Target Field, I should say. That would be Cabrera, V-Mart, and also Justin Upton. So hopefully that'll bode well tonight.
You know, when this ballpark was built, it was not known as a hitter-friendly ballpark, but the last couple of years, the Tigers have made it a hitter-friendly ballpark. Look at the damage these guys have done. You mentioned the names. Miggy, 350 with 12 homers in this yard. Victor Martinez, 366, and Justin Upton has also done major damage in this particular ballpark. They'll have to be on point today. They'll be going up against a really good pitcher in Ervin Santana for the Minnesota Twins. He made the All-Star team. He has not seen the Tigers in a number of years, so the Tigers will have their work cut out for them today against Santana.
You know, we're still waiting for this Twins team to just go away, and they will not go away. This is a ball club that has served notice. They will be in the race the entire year. Just a half game right now behind the Indians in the standings. They're awfully good.
And they're really doing it without superstar players. I mean, they've got a great manager in Paul Molitor. He's a Hall of Fame player. He's a really good manager. They have, by and large, a very young team. But take a look at some of the things they've done this year. Overall, just 2 games over 500. 22-29 here at home, although they played better. They have an all-star in Sano, their third baseman, 23 homers. We talked about their Ervin Santana. He's been very good. And in the outfield, they run down literally everything. So it's a very young team, but it's also a very talented team. And it's a team that's playing with a lot of confidence, especially on the road. They've gotten better right here at home.
All right, game one in this series just minutes away. After a short break, we'll be sending you to the Coliseum Studios to check in with Mickey York. Coming up in this one here tonight, it's going to be Anuel Sanchez on the hill. He has been solid as a starter this year. Stay with us. Twins, Tigers, game one, coming up next. Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by Comerica Bank, a part of Detroit and the community since 1849. And by Ram, make the most of your summer at the Ram Summer Clearance Event going on now. Nice night for baseball here in Minneapolis. The Tigers opening up a 3-game set here against the Minnesota Twins. Irvin Santana and the Twins taking the field now. The Tigers trying to shake off a couple of losses in the last 2 games in KC. Their starting lineup tonight presented by the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. And for Brad Ausmus this evening, Ian Kinsler leads it off, followed by Avila and Upton. Miguel Cabrera batting cleanup, then Nick Castellanos, who's had a really good month, followed by Victor Martinez, the DH. Matuk, Presley, and Iglesias, your bottom 3 tonight for the Tigers. And they are facing Irvin Santana. He is presented by Jeff Glover and Associates Realtors.
And they've seen Santana a lot over the years. 19 career starts for Santana against the Tigers. He's 9-4 with a good ERA. He made the All-Star team this year. He's 11-6 right now with a sub-3 ERA. Fastball tops out at 95. He's got a slider he uses all the time and a changeup as well. And let's take a look at the starting defense for the Minnesota Twins presented by Tim Hortons. And they've got Rosario Granite Kepler in the outfield, Andrianza, Dozier, Sano, Maurer in the infield, and Jason Castro is the catcher.
So we are ready for baseball here this evening as Kinsler strolls in for the Tigers. And they will be Kinsler, Avila, and Upton here in the Tigers' first inning facing Santana. Here's the first pitch of tonight's ball game, and Ian fouls it back out of play 0-1. Kinsler in the series against the Royals was 7 for 20. He had 3 doubles and 2 triples in that series.
Tigers, from an offensive standpoint, got off in the first 2 games of that series against the Royals, but they didn't perform as well in the last 2.
Now, last night they had trouble early against Duffy before they finally woke up a little bit. Hamill shut him down in game 3 in the series. And a foul back. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Kinsler.
And Santana likes to work at the bottom of the zone, especially with his 2-seam fastball and his slider. And when he is down in the zone, he is very, very effective. So the Tigers, their game plan today is to try to get him up in the strike zone, because when he throws balls up in the strike zone, the batting average is well over 300 against Irvin.
They want the appeal on the check, and he did not go. 2-2 the count. Santana, 34 years old, out of San Cristobal in the Dominican Republic. 6'2", 175, a slender build. There's another foul back out of play by Kinsler.
And most of the fastballs that he will feature tonight against the right-handers will be on the outside part of the plate. Now, every now and then Santana will challenge one of the right-handers inside, but not very often.
Ian with a modest 5-game hitting streak going, coming into play tonight. Now the 2-2. Another foul, and so Kinsler doing his job here, battling in the leadoff slot. 9 home runs this year for the Tigers leadoff man, a .244 batting average. Santana, fresh off an all-star appearance this year, has been key for the Twins hanging around in the Central Division race. And he missed inside. Ooh, Santana wanted that, and that was awfully close. Fox Strike said it caught the inside corner. Tim Timmons disagreed. New life for Kinsler. Here's the 3-2. Ian shoots it on the ground. Oh, diving stop by Dozier. To his feet to throw him out.
That's one of the things that the Minnesota Twins team does very well. And they have the second best defense in the American League behind the Kansas City Royals, and this is a dandy play by Dozier. 1 step and a dive, and he stretches out, and he robs Ian Kinsler of a base hit. Outstanding play by Bryant.
Well, it was hit so hard it appeared that Dozier would have no chance. Sprawling play, 1 gone. That'll bring up Avila.
That's one of the things that they have done very well this year. And not only in the infield, but also in the outfield. They have a very good defensive team.
Avila batting .291. 1 for 7 in the series against the Royals. Alex back in the 2 slot in this one. Castellanos batted number 2 last night. Ball 1 missing outside.
Here's one more look at the fine play by Dozier, leaving his feet, stretching out, making the play, getting up quickly, and throwing accurately to Joe Mauer, the first baseman.
Avila looks at a strike right down the middle.
When Dozier first came to the big leagues, he was a shortstop. He struggled offensively, was sent back down to the minor leagues, and when he came back to the big leagues for good, they made him a second baseman.
Royals have committed the fewest errors in the league, 36. The Twins at 46, the second fewest. Another one that just missed outside, 2-1.
Yeah, Minnesota has a .987 fielding percentage, which is second to the Kansas City Royals. Good to see Alex getting a good favorable count here. He's been scuffling a little bit lately.
Seems like he's always in a good favorable count, and he's got a great eye.
Good pitch there by Irvin. Off-speed pitch in a fastball count. He pulled the string on Alex.
Avila coming into this game batting .303 versus right-handed pitching. His numbers are much better against righties. Now the 2-2. Tardy there in the fastball. Here's what all those walks will lead to: a very high on-base percentage. Trout, Judge, Altuve, the only 3 in the American League with a better mark.
Some impressive players on that list. Avila, the only one on that list, did not make the All-Star team this year.
Now Santana again with the 2-2. And Avila takes outside. Castro tried to hold it there. 3-2 now on Alex. Waiting on deck, Justin Upton. Here's the full count pitch. Bouncing ball slowly towards second. Sawed him off that time. Dozier throws him out, 2 away. Well, after what, 100 degrees at game time last night, a little bit cooler here in Minneapolis tonight. 86.
Yeah, a little bit of humidity, but other than that, a lot more pleasant than it was in Kansas City yesterday, and really for the 4 days in Kansas City. 95 and above all 4 days there.
A few clouds still hanging around. It was very cloudy and overcast today, but the rain has moved out. Here is Upton. And Jay Up looks at a strike, 0-1. Pretty good series against the Royals. 6 hits for the Tigers. Wave and a miss. Good slider there by Santana. Tim Timmons behind the dish tonight. The rest of the crew: Hoy, Little, and Kellogg. Jeff Kellogg, the crew chief. He's down at third base. Santana in search of a 1-2-3 inning. 1-2. Twins have been rumored into looking into gaining a few more arms for their staff. Santana clearly the ace of this staff. He's been marvelous this year.
I've heard Jaime Garcia's name thrown around the last couple of days. He pitches for the Atlanta Braves.
Right back to the mound, and a soft line drive, and 1-2-3 go the Tigers. No runs, no hits, nobody left. Bottom of the first here at Target Field in Minneapolis. Anibal Sanchez on the hill tonight for the Tigers, presented by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Anibal Sanchez has pitched some pretty good baseball as a starter this year for the Tigers. 1-0 with a 3.99 ERA and the whip under 1. He's really used the fastball upstairs and that really good butterfly changeup to his advantage in his 5 outings.
Here is the starting lineup for the Twins, presented by your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. And for Paul Molitor, they've got Brian Dozier leading it off, and Zach Granite, Joe Mauer, Sano, Kepler, and Grossman in the middle of the lineup. Rosario, Adrianza, and Castro, your bottom 3 for Minnesota. And now Mr. Sanchez goes to work facing Brian Dozier. Anibal delivers up high, 1 ball and no strikes.
You want to make sure you stay away from Dozier. He's got great pull power. He's got a lot of power to left field. And if he hurts you, you want to make him hurt you to right field.
Sanchez staying away, 2-0.
Yeah, first 2 pitches to Dozier, both on the outside part of the plate.
Dozier hammers one toward left center field. That ball is going to get down. Mata cuts it off on one hop and holds him to a single. Leadoff man on for the Twins.
This is why you have to get ahead of a guy like Dozier, because even though this fastball was on the outside part of the plate, Dozier is a dead pull hitter. He was able to reach out there and grab it and then hit that ball back to the pull field with some authority. He stands right on top of the plate, so basically this ball looks like it's down the middle to Dozier. Most right-handed batters are trying to drive that ball the opposite way, but not Brian.
Byron Buxton is on the DL for the Twins, so Zach Granite has been called up from their AAA team. He's playing center field, batting second tonight.
And very important as well for Sanchez to give Alex Avila time to throw. If Dozier, their leadoff hitter, wants to steal a base here, he has 10 steals this year, but he's been caught 5 times, so that's not a good ratio.
Granite hammers one in the air to left, but it's going to be Upton. He's under it, and 1 gone.
And let's take a peek at the Tigers starting defensive alignment this evening. Upton, he's out in left field. Matuk, he's in center. Presley over in right. Castellanos, Iglesias, Ian Kinsler, and the big fella, Miguel Cabrera, in the infield. And Alex Avila is behind the plate. Upton a little frustrated after at first at bat of the game against Irvin Santana. You got to be strong to do that, Mario.
You could do that easily.
No.
With your eyes closed. And Dozier continues to draw a look or two from Santana.
There have been times where teams have run at will against Sanchez, but not so much anymore. He's done a better job at trying to slow down the running game.
We saw that quite a bit in his last start against San Francisco. That was a start in which the right-hander Sanchez gave up 5 runs on 9 hits. And that was probably his worst start. Toronto, I beg your pardon, not San Francisco. There's a strike called.
And Joe Mauer takes the first pitch about 9 out of 10 times. Very seldom does he swing at the first pitch. And pitchers know that. Therefore, they can just lay that first pitch fastball in there most of the time.
Just to know, he's almost in the batter's box. Getting a really good look from the on-deck circle.
That's exactly what he's trying to do.
Mauer, the hitter, with 1 out. The 0-1. 0-2 on Mauer.
Good fastball there at 90 miles an hour, thrown right by Joe Mauer.
Mauer leads all active players with 216 career hits against Tigers pitching.
Yeah, there was about a 5-year stretch there where Joe Mauer was the best left-handed hitter in the game. Winning batting titles, MVP, making all-star teams. I mean, he was legit.
Mauer transitioning to first base. He has not caught since the 2013 season.
That was a wise decision by them to take him from behind the plate, because He started to get quite a few injuries, and while he was back there, he's been able to stay on the field playing first base.
Sanchez missing outside. 2-2 now on Mauer. Mentioned Honeywell gave up the 5 runs in his last start after 4 straight starts of 3 runs or less. But overall this year, after coming back from Toledo, he's been really good. And now from 0-2 to 3-2 on Mauer, with Sano lurking on deck. Twins coming off a series against the Yankees in which they won 2 out of 3 against the Yanks. Runner goes, and a ground ball back up the middle right at Iglesias. Tags the bag, 1 and double play. So go 6-3 to end the inning. No score, Tigers and Twins, game 1 in this series, and Menards brings you the big money encounter, the best records against a divisional opponent since 2016. The Tigers are right at the top of that list.
Wow, and it really doesn't matter whether they're playing at Comerica Park or right here at Target Field. They have absolutely dominated the Twinkies. They've pitched better, they've obviously hit better. In the middle of the Tigers batting order, Victor, Miggy, and also Justin Upton. A lot of damage in this ballpark. Maybe that's what Miggy needs to get going again, to come to this yard.
Well, here we go. He'll lead things off in the second, and Santana has it fouled back 0-1. Irvin had a 1-2-3 first inning. Cabrera 3 for 16 in the series against the Royals. Didn't do a whole lot. Had an RBI single last night.
And even the hits that Mickey got in the series were not hit very hard.
Swing and a miss. He is 5 for 12 this year against the Twins. Now the 0-2. Did he go? Yes, he went around, says home plate umpire Tim Timmons. A strikeout of Cabrera, 1 gone.
Here's the scouting report on Irvin Santana. At 150 is the batting average against his slider this year. That's to right-handed batters. He throws over to first base a lot, 202 times since the beginning of last year. You see the usage, the fastball, the slider. He loves the slider, 34% with that pitch, and 12% with the changeup. Most of the changeups go to the left-handed batter, and the sliders go to the right-handed batters.
Nick Castellanos was cooled off in the ball game last night. Nick was 0 for 5 in that game.
Nick flew out 4 times in last night's game. 3 times to the right fielder and then 1 time to the center fielder. I like the adjustment though that he made his last time up. He hit the ball sharply to the second baseman, but it was firm and it was on the ground. I like the fact that he did make an adjustment.
316 over his last 24. Overall had a really good series against the Royals. The 0-2 off the plate.
Tigers are going to have to find a better count to get into. We just gave you the numbers on Irvin Santana against right-handed batters with a slider and with 2 strikes. I mean, you're asking for that pitch. He's going to throw it all the time.
Fly ball center field. Granite in his tracks, and there are 2 gone. They had 4 fly ball outs last night, and now another one here tonight. Here's Victor Martinez.
Victor has good career numbers against Santana. Batting average over 320. Overall this season, 261 with 6 home runs, 38 driven in.
Paul Molitor, the skipper of the Twins, has his team smack dab in the middle of the race.
And who would have thunk that on July 21st?
Well, they've got a chance to move into first place in the Central if they win here tonight and the Indians lose.
And they're going to make some moves here in the next week or so. They have to make a move or 2 to bolster their pitching staff.
Indians tonight at home against Toronto. Santana missing low, 1 ball and 1 strike. That Indians team's kind of hard to figure out. Just when you think they're going to take off and leave everybody in the dust, they struggle.
Yes, they have not been able to put together any extended winning streaks this year.
Vimart looks at a strike. 1-2 on Martinez. Victor 6 out of 14 in the series against KC. Good overhead shot of the setup for Victor.
Yeah, he's about as deep in that batter's box as you could get on that back line.
Two and 2. Just before the All-Star break, Martinez recorded his 2000th major league hit. That was back in Cleveland against the Indians back on the 7th of July.
It was awfully special for him too to do it in a place where he started his big league career.
Santana tried him to go fishing there, but he wouldn't do it.
Huge crowd that night down in Cleveland, and they gave Victor a really nice round of applause.
Here's what he's done over his last 8. Full count now, 3-2 on Martinez. Driven deep in the air to right field, way back, and that ball is gone. And I mean way gone. Martinez hammers it well over the field, outfield fence and right, and the Tigers have the lead.
And Victor has great numbers in this particular ballpark. He came in hitting .366, and Santana in a 3-2 count. That ball was absolutely drilled by Victor.
It was a no-doubter. Not only was it a no-doubter, but he cleared all the seats out there.
He killed it.
Martinez hits number 7 on the season, and it went a long, long way. Early 1-0 lead for the Tigers. That is the 20th home run allowed by Santana. Team high.
It's a fastball grip, 4-seam fastball. It came in at 94. It split the plate, and Victor Martinez absolutely smoked it. And those don't make it to the catcher's glove very often.
Mikey Mott took the batter.
We also gave you some numbers on Santana. When he works up in the strike zone, the batting average is .370 against him. But when he's down around the knees, The batting average is under 200 against him. So the Tigers, their game plan today is to try to get Santana up in the strike zone.
Now Matuk has gone ahead 3-0.
This is already 4 3-ball counts he's had today already. 4 of them.
Home run, by the way, 404 feet for Martinez. He'll take it's ball 4, and so a 4-pitch walk for Mikey Matuk. Santana retired the first 5 in a row, and now he's run into some trouble here. How about Matuk now drawing a walk? His first in 136 plate appearances.
That's number 1.
Wow.
That is a wow.
But here's Presley.
That's almost a holy cats.
Almost. I'm still trying to figure out where that ball that Martinez hit landed. Presley, 12 for his last 27, man. He's given the Tigers some really good play, whether off the bench or starting in right field or center field. He'll loop one in center. That's going to drop in. A base hit. Matuk is on his way, but he'll put on the brakes. Now the throw back behind him. Oh, he's off the bag, and they call him out.
He twisted his ankle, man. He's in pain. He rolled that ankle when he went back to the bag.
Yes, he did, and he is going to gingerly walk off the field.
He's trying to run it off. That's a good play by their center fielder, Granite.
Brad trying to decide whether or not to look at it. Matuk, it appeared, got back to the bag, but he must have come off.
Well, he got back and he rolled that ankle right there. And when he rolled that ankle, he came off because he was in pain.
And so it appears the Tigers are going to challenge this. It's a close call.
No. He looks safe.
I think there was a brief second, Rod, where he did get him right. Let's watch it right here.
Take one more look here. The foot's on the bag right now. Okay, the foot's there. Okay. The foot doesn't come off. Now watch. The foot stays on. Now the hand goes. Ooh, you might. But did he have him tag him right there, though?
No. See, here's the problem. The call on the field was out. And so it's going to be tough to overturn it. This is a good look right here. Pretty close. Well, that's good. Mikey's smiling right now. He's headed back out to second. Hopefully they call him safe to keep this inning going. Well, when you get an ankle twisted like that, you just hold your breath. Ouch. The second base umpire, Will Little, said he came off the bag and was tagged.
Will punched him out, too. Look at the call by Will Little. Check out the call here. He punched him out.
Here's the decision on this one. Out at second base. Call stands. So that'll be it for the Tigers. They get a run, though, on the home run by Victor Martinez. And V-Mart absolutely crushed it. It was his 7th of the season, giving the Tigers a 1-0 lead early on. good news is Mikey Matuk will stay in the game after turning that ankle. He was ruled out at second base, which kind of short-circuited the inning, but the V-Mart homer gives the Tigers the edge. Miguel Sano leads it off for Minnesota. Very powerful right-handed batter. And he skies the first one foul. Out of play.
Yeah, very few hit the ball as hard as Sano. He made an all-star team this year, his first all-star team. 23 homers, 66 driven in, and he has scored 60 runs as well. So he's having a really good season. And he's a big man.
Yes, he is.
Good pitch. Outstanding pitch.
It took a guy by the name of Aaron Judge to beat him in the home run hitting contest to the All-Star game this year. Finishing second to Judge. Now the 0-2. Sano, Kepler, and Grossman, the 4, 5, and 6 hitters in the Twins' second. Minnesota got a base hit in the first, but then a double play from Mauer. Slice to right field, base hit. Leadoff single for Miguel Sano. Time now for the AT&T reliability stat of the game. We're talking about how hard he hits the ball.
Yeah, hard hit rate in the American League this season. Castellanos and Miguel Cabrera at the top of the list. And then you have Aaron Judge. You mentioned him. He's having a fabulous season. Sano also on that list, and the one guy you would think wouldn't be on the list is the shortstop of the Tampa Bay Rays, Tim Beckham. That ball right there off the bat of Sano was hit to right field like a left-handed pull hitter. So that just gives you an example, an idea how hard he hits the baseball.
Kepler the batter. Kepler having a good month of July, 333 this month. One ball, one strike.
Just to give you an idea, that last base hit off the bat of Sano left his bat at 110 miles an hour.
Oh, wow.
And that's hitting the ball the opposite way.
I know. Opposite field single at 110. Pretty good. Kepler takes up and in. 10 homers this year for Kepler. He's driven in 66, or 40 rather. And he was born in Berlin, but he went to high school here in the States in Fort Myers. Big swing there.
Anibal has a good off-speed pitch today. He's had a good off-speed pitch since coming back from the minor leagues.
Kepler skies this one to shallow right field. Kinsler going back to the grass to make the catch. One gone.
Wanted to take one more look at the play here with Matuk off the base hit of Presley. You see Matuk running hard. He's pretending like he's going to third base. Then he had to stop on the dime. And a nice play here by Granite. He threw behind him. The second baseman was there and able to apply that tag. But a little bit over aggression there on Matuk's part by rounding the bag so aggressively, especially if you're not going to go to third.
That would be the final out of the inning. Tigers settled for one run. Here is Robbie Grossman. Strike one to Grossman.
Grossman's got a pretty good eye. He's walked 49 times already this year, and his on-base percentage is almost 400, 378. So he's got a pretty good eye when standing in that batter's box, and had a good year this year against Tigers pitching.
Meanwhile, Sanchez has not had good numbers this year against the Twins because all of those came in relief. 3 relief appearances this year. The Twins put up 8 runs in 3 innings against him.
Ouch.
But as you documented earlier, Sanchez much better as a starter overall. That'll miss outside. Grossman now finds himself 2-1 in the count.
Sanchez has a lot of confidence in his breaking ball and his changeup. And more than likely, he will throw one of those two pitches here to Grossman, who does have some pop in his back.
Occasional power, 6 homers this year for Grossman.
Changeup, good pitch. Here's the scouting report on Anibal Sanchez. La Mariposa. That would be that butterfly changeup. It's been his most effective pitch. And he varies the speeds with it, 64 to 87. Great control. He's only walked one batter, 96 batters his last 4 starts. You see the usage there, fastball, changeup, slider, curveball. He's been using the changeup a lot.
That walk stat pretty impressive.
Yes, it was.
Keeping himself out of any self-inflicted problems.
He's pitching with much more confidence than obviously he was pitching at the beginning of the season when he was working out of the Tigers bullpen.
Grossman DHing in this game tonight. 2-2 the count. Tigers have a 1-0 lead as we play here in the second. And he was out in front, popped him up. There goes Iglesias back to the grass. 2 lazy pop-ups, 2 away. By the way, stay tuned to Tigers Live. Following the game, we'll select the Fox Sports Detroit Tigers player of the game, presented by McDonald's. Stop by for your breakfast favorites, now being served all day.
And both Kepler and Grossman, both left-handed batters, could not lay back long enough on that slow changeup. The one to Kepler was 73 miles an hour that he popped up, and that one to Grossman was 70 miles an hour that he popped straight up in the air.
Little chopper back to the mound. Anibal handles this one, and that is that for the Twins. No runs. The leadoff single is stranded. Nothing on the Victor Martinez home run as we go to the top of the third. Here's the Chevrolet most dependable player. It's going to be Irvin Santana. When you look at his numbers for the last 3 years, he is having himself a season.
Yeah, they really have gotten better. 2.99 ERA so far this year, which is in the top 5 in the American League. The whip a shade over 1, and look at the opponent's batting average. Just 207 against Santana. He's got a fastball that tops out at about 95. He's got that unhittable slider down against righties, and a good changeup. Pitching with a lot of confidence these days.
He will face Iglesias, then Kinsler and Avila as we go to the top of the third here at Minneapolis. At a strike called on Iggy.
Yeah, there was a time when Santana came up with the Angels out west. He had a mid to upper 90s fastball to go along with that wipeout slider.
That is popped up. See if it stays in play for Mauer. It will not. Back in the day with the Angels, Santana had a couple of 16-win seasons. He had a 17-win season. And still getting it done at the age of 34. One ball, one strike on Iglesias. Iggy has slowed a little bit offensively. 2 for his last 12. That was in the series against the Royals. Batting average of .251. Checked it. Did not go. Kinsler to follow. Tigers didn't get a hit until the home run by Martinez with 2 outs in the second. Off the edge.
He does not have very good control so far tonight. Tigers are making him work awfully hard. Now 5 3-ball counts of the first 9 hitters today for Irvin.
And a drive to left field. That ball is going to drop. Base hit. Rosario looked like he might try and make a play on it. Leadoff single for the Tigers.
Yeah, good at bat there by Jose.
Second baseman, number 3, Ian Kinsler.
And 45 pitches in, 27 strikes, 18 balls thrown by Irvin. At this rate, he's not going to be around once his team gets to the 6th inning.
Here is Kinsler, who had a base hit taken away and a great defensive play by Dozier. It was to lead off the ball game. Ian fouls it off 0-1.
Ian coming into play tonight had the most at bats against Santana, over 70 of those. And when Ian was playing for the Texas Rangers, of course, we told you that Santana was playing for the Angels. So both of those teams met up 18 times a year.
Ball low. Santana made an all-star team back in 08 with the Angels, and of course made the all-star team this year for the American League. In fact, he threw 1 inning, gave up the home run to Yadier Molina, which tied the all-star game. The 1-1. Slow roller toward third, going to be a foul ball.
Yeah, you talked about the fact that he made an all-star team back in 2008, and then he made one this year. So that was the longest span between all-star selections among active players. 10 years.
And in that 10-year stretch, Santana had some decent years. So much of the all-star game, though, and whether or not you make it, is how good of a first half you have.
Right.
1-2 the count.
Yeah, good count to maybe run if you're Iglesias. He throws a lot of breaking balls in this particular situation.
Santana thinking along the same ways, throws back.
I mean, you can pretty much anticipate that it's going to be a breaking ball. And obviously, if it's down, if it bounces, you get a good secondary lead, you get yourself in the scoring position. See there? Should have been on the run. He'd have been safe.
They never listen to you, Ron. They never, ever listen to you. What is the matter? 2-2.
Tigers doing a really nice job of making Santana throw the ball over the plate. I mean, they're taking the borderline pitches, and just about every single guy's had himself in a pretty good hitter's count.
Drilled toward left field. It's going to be foul. Bangs up against the wall. Had a pretty good overview look of the overhead look, I should say, of the batting setup for Kinsler. Well, most guys, or many guys, like to stand deep in the box, and we showed Victor earlier in the game. Kinsler is pretty much up in the box.
And it really doesn't matter, Mario, whether it's a flamethrower or a guy that won't challenge you with a lot of fastballs, a guy that throws you lots of breaking balls. generally speaking, guys that throw hard, guys that have mid-90s fastballs, the hitters, they try to get back as far as possible in that batter's box, but not Ian. It doesn't matter for him.
Again, another 3-2 count.
And now a decision to be made by Brad. Does he start Jose Iglesias here on the 3-2 count?
I think so. Kinsler has been one of the best in the American League at not striking out. He has a pretty good rate in that respect.
That's a good point.
Runner goes, big jump, bouncing ball up the middle. They'll have only one play. Adrianza throws out Kinsler, advance the runner. One gone. We'll bring up Alex Avila now. Avila went to a 3-2 count in his first at bat before grounding out. Meanwhile, Santana already up to 52 pitches. Tigers grab the lead in the second, and the home run, 2-out shot by Victor Martinez. Strike on the outer edge, and Avila thought that was a little wide. Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Just kind of wondering how the Tigers would come out and play tonight, Rod, after that series in KC, a grueling series weather-wise, and the fact that they lost the last 2 games, had a chance really to sweep that series. We'll win 3 out of 4.
Yeah, I don't think they felt good about the way they performed last night. That much we do know. And as you predicted, it was a very quiet plane ride over here to Minnesota.
Did not go. 2-1.
And we had really good numbers in the last couple of years against Minnesota, so I think that kind of helps them. They're 19-6 against Minnesota the last 2 years. And Brad Ausmus having a conversation with his bench coach, Gene Lamont. Gino's been Brad's bench coach since Brad got the job. And of course, he held that same role with Jim Leland for a number of years. As a matter of fact, Gino's been on the staff, what, for now 11 straight years.
Yeah, counting back to the start with Jim Leland.
2006.
Two and one on Avila, and Santana has really slowed the pace down to a crawl right now. And now the catcher Castro going out to the mound. A Friday, July 28th, the Tigers take on the Astros at 7:10 p.m. It's the District Detroit night. The first 10,000 fans receive a free Detroit Tigers, the District Detroit baseball cap. For tickets, go to tigers.com or call 866-66-TIGER. You've been seeing some of the photos on social media about the Little Caesars Arena.
I have.
Man, that thing is really coming along nicely.
It really is. I mean, it won't be long before Kid Rock.
Right.
We'll be rocking that building.
Then eventually the Wings and Pistons. The 2-1 is fouled off. 2-2 now on Avila.
And one of the things that the Tigers could start to look for against Irvin is the fact that just about every time there's a runner in scoring position so far here today, and there hasn't been that many, but it's been a home run, but there's been runners on base. He's throwing off-speed pitches in fastball counts.
Santana's pitch count continues to rise. And Avila takes another one outside. 3-2 on Alex.
Apparently that was the Tigers' game plan coming in. And make him work, make him get the ball up, make him throw it over the plate.
That is 7 3-ball counts now for Santana. Yet he is 9 of 11 in first pitch strikes. And he got him. Strike three. Avila thought he had himself a walk. Thought that ball was a tad low. Tim Timmons punches him out.
It's a four-seam fastball, and one of the things that Castro brings to the dance, that would be their catcher, Jason Castro. Take a look at him pull that ball back up.
He lined softly to the pitcher, and then he simply walked back at the bench and snapped his bat over his knee. Ball two. Seems like Santana's nibbling a lot tonight.
Say that again.
Nibbling a lot tonight.
Yeah, you brought up the fact that he's 9 of 11 in first pitch strikes, 9 of 12 now, but after that he is nibbling.
Here's the 2-0.
One more look at the strikeout of Avila. Watch the glove here of Castro. The ball is down below the knees, right there where he catches it, and then watch him just ever so slight, and he pulls it up quick too. And it's a fast motion, but it's not a violent motion, and that helps these guys get calls.
Another 3-ball count, 3-1 on Upton. Santana had 19 pitch first and second innings. He's got Cabrera waiting on deck. Upton waits on a 3-1. High fly ball into right field. Ball is hit well. That ball is up there, and it's off the top of the wall. A run will score. Upton will go to second with a double and an RBI, and the Tigers have a 2-0 lead. And J-Up almost hit that ball out to the opposite field.
That's the second consecutive game now where we've seen Justin Upton drive a ball to right field with some really nice backspin and carry. He did it in last night's game. It was a double to right center field in Kansas City. This one he gets underneath it, and you can see the launch angle created here by Justin. And with that bat speed that he generated, this ball nearly got out of the ballpark off the out-of-town scoreboard.
57 RBIs now for Upton, his 26th double of the season. 2-0 Tigers. And here is Miguel Cabrera. Miggy looks at a ball outside.
With Miggy's career numbers against the Central and in particular the Minnesota Twins, if he was swinging the bat well right now, they wouldn't pitch to him. But obviously Miguel Cabrera is not swinging the bat well right now, and therefore they are challenging him.
Yeah, he has 5 intentional walks this year, but it's been a while since he's gotten one.
Yeah, I mean, they have just been attacking him, and even when Miggy is taking pitches these days, it looks like he's still indecisive as to whether it really was a strike or not.
Cabrera struck out back in the second. Swing and a miss. 1-2.
I mean, he is swinging right through fastballs these days.
Right now it's a 27 pitch inning for Santana. Got a piece of the slider.
Here's our Bell Tire pitch by pitch. Miggy's first at bat, and it really tells you all you need to know about Miggy, the way he's seeing the bat these days, swinging the bat these days. I mean, he is just not seeing the ball, and now he's in that 2-strike approach, and it's tough when you're in that 2-strike approach when they throw you breaking balls, because you tend to leak with your front side, and a lot of times you swing at balls down that you normally wouldn't swing at.
Swing and a miss.
Oh my goodness.
Man, we have never seen a swing like that for Cabrera. He has fanned twice in this game. 3-0 for Santana. Tigers get another run. Unlimited baseball break brought to you by T-Mobile. What do we have going on here? The Pittsburgh Pirates, man, if you watch them, they're getting back in the race.
Well, they got their outfielder back, Marte, coming off the suspension list, and they've won 5 consecutive games, 11 of their last 13.
And aside from having a really cool beard, Charlie Blackmon now has a 14-game hitting streak.
And he might be the best player that nobody really knows in baseball right now, Charlie Blackmon.
Clayton Kershaw being, well, Clayton Kershaw, he's on a roll again. Sanchez with a 2-run lead to work with now as Adrianza leads it off. Then Castro and Brian Dozier. Strike one on A-Ray Adrianza.
That Cy Young race in the National League is some kind of race right now between Maxwell Scherzer and Clayton Kershaw.
Swing and a miss. It's hard to pick one of those guys if you had to win a single game, which one you would go with. There's no wrong answer, but both of those guys are just dominant.
And they have been for the last 5 years.
Now the 0-2. Almost hit him, straightened him up.
I wonder if Sanchez will double up with the fastball inside here, or whether he'll simply go change up and fade it away from the youngster here.
Threw him a fastball, but it was high and away. 2-2 on A-Ray Adrianza. He's enjoying a 6-game hitting streak. Adrianza hails from Venezuela. Did you know he is the godson of? And a strike called. Got him looking. Adrianza is out of there. Time for a game break now with Mickey York.
Back to the Twins, catcher number 21, Jason Castro.
All right, Mick, thanks. We were talking about how inconsistent the Indians have been. Here's what they're doing right now in the Central. Their lead is very slim against the Twins. The Indians went out west and lost 5 of 6 to, what, Oakland and Frisco.
Right.
But they're leading at home tonight.
And neither of those teams are having good seasons.
No, they're
both in last place.
2-0 meanwhile on Jason Castro. Tigers up 2-0. They got 1 in the second, 1 in the third against Santana. Sanchez with the 2-0 and is fouled down the third base line. Castellanos almost got there. 2 rows back. Castro, the former Houston Astros catcher, signed a 3-year deal in November to come over here to Minnesota. Now the 2-1. Top of the order, Dozier waiting on deck. Marching toward the trading deadline. The Tigers have 3 here. They go home next week. The Astros are coming in. The Royals are coming in first. Here's the 2-2, and it floated up there, and Castro just got a piece of that 67-mile-an-hour pitch.
La Mariposa, that's what he calls it. It's a butterfly changeup, and it's amazing how he can throw this ball and still have really good arm speed, but yet throw that pitch at 67 miles an hour.
Fastball's been up to 93 today. Got him, strike 3. Castro caught looking. Back-to-back strikeouts for Sanchez.
And 67 with the previous pitch. The end ball comes back with a fastball, and Castro cannot pull the bat off his shoulders.
You know, it's funny, Sanchez goes down to Toledo, accepts the assignment to try and straighten himself out after having no luck at all in the bullpen for the Tigers. Dozier looks at a ball, and really when you look at what Sanchez did down at Toledo, his ERA was about 4.5, near 5, and you wonder, well, all right, they're giving him a chance. They feel this is pretty much it, and he has just been sparkling up here.
I think what the Tigers did is they did not worry about the earned run average when you're in the minor leagues, because you don't know a lot of those minor league hitters, and you don't get a chance to prepare for them the way you prepare for big league hitters. Not the same scouting reports. But he was healthy, and they said he was healthy, and he had some life on his fastball. So that was enough for Brad and also Al Avila, the general manager, and the pitching coach Rich Doobie, to give him another opportunity. And now in 6 starts, he's been pretty good.
Here's the 2-1. Chopper to third. It's going to be a fair ball. Castellanos off balance throw. And that'll be it, a 1-2-3 inning for the Minnesota Twins. 3 in the books. Victor Martinez, he loves hitting here. He's already homered in this game, and he is due up second in the 4th. On top early here, 2-0 is our score in game 1 in this 3-game weekend series. So far, Tigers fans with a little bit to cheer about. The Victor home run, the RBI double by Upton, and now here is Castellanos in the 4th. Nicholas, then Martinez, and then Matuk facing Irvin Santana, who has thrown 67 pitches, 68 pitches actually, through 3 innings. Now Santana goes to work. Strike 1 on Castellanos. Santana over his career 9-3 lifetime against the Tigers, but that ERA pretty impressive, 3.08. And you got Castellanos to wave and miss, 0-2. The 11 wins so far for Santana, the most he has had since the 14 games he won with the Braves in 2014. And Nick looks at a ball outside, would not chase there, 1-2. Santana tried to get him with the slider.
It's a nice job there by Santana, changing the eye level there of Nick. And the other 3 pitches at the bottom of the strike zone. That time you went upstairs.
One and two. Lifted back out of play. Nick had his 7-game hitting streak come to an end in the ball game last night. He drew an 0 for 5 against the Royals to end up that series. Castellanos does lead the American League with 7 triples.
Somewhat surprising.
I would say so. Ripped down the left field line. Fair ball, going to go to the corner. This will be extra bases. Castellanos on his way to second, and he will pull in with a leadoff double.
Designated hitter, number 41.
Another hard hit ball here by Nicholas Castellanos. That's a changeup, and that's the reason why right-handers are a little leery at throwing changeups to right-handed batters, because if you leave it up, the result is usually a double down in the left field corner. That's the 19th double of the season for Castellanos.
So the Tigers now in good shape, trying to get another run in here with the leadoff 2-baggers. Victor stands in. Martinez hit a home run that went 404 feet over the right field wall back in the second. Swing and a miss, 0-1. Boy, at this rate, Santana might not be around here after the 5th inning. He threw 29 pitches to get through the 3rd. He gave up the 1 run. A little low. Whoa.
Victor walks around Target Field like it's a home game for him. In 52 games here, he has driven in 44 and scored 36.
Pickoff throw, and it was not on target. Victor's your man tonight, isn't he?
I did take Victor tonight. He had good numbers coming in. Also had some good numbers against Santana. And he was due.
So that's why you threw your arms up in the air and started doing a little dance on the home run.
You know it.
1-1 on Martinez.
I'd like to throw him up again, as a matter of fact.
Here are the pick the stick selections tonight. Sewell went with Cabrera. I took Jay up, and there's Rod with Vmart. Trev's got Kinsler, and Mick's got Mikey Matuk.
We have a lot of respect for Cabrera because for the 3rd consecutive day, he has been the #1 pick in pick the stick.
And he's been struggling. And so we're just waiting for him to bust out. Swing and a miss. 2-2 now on Vmart.
And Castro now going to go out to make sure that they're on the same page, and they may not even, he may not even put down a sign here. He basically has gone out to tell Santana what he wants to throw on this next pitch, and that eliminates Castellanos relaying anything from second base if he was cheating. See if he puts down the sign here, if he just puts the glove down and Santana throws a pitch. Signs might not mean anything. He's already told him what to do. There's really a lot of deception going on in there.
You're not kidding. If there's something going on there, it's a whole lot of deception. So much so that Vmart stepped out.
Good arms in the outfield for the Minnesota Twins, Dave Clark, third base coach, he knows that. Here's Victor Martinez back in the second inning. It was a fastball at 94 that he tried to sneak by Victor, and it was up in the strike zone. And the numbers against Santana this year on pitches up in the strike zone over 370. So he gets clobbered when he gets the ball up.
Meanwhile, it's another 3-2 count, so his ratio cannot be good at all here tonight, Santana. The 3-2 is drilled in the air to right field. That ball is hit deep. Did he do it again? He did. It's gone. A 2-run shot for Victor Martinez. Look at this, everybody. Look at this. What you just missed a minute ago was the hands up in the air again. What a night for Victor, and what a night for Rod Allen.
My guy.
A 2-run shot, 4-0 Tigers. Neither one of those cheapies either. The Tigers bounced back from last night's drubbing in KC, and they lead 4-0 against Irvin Santana. Victor now with 8 home runs on the year. Matuk looks at a strike.
This ball was down in the strike zone. This was a changeup that was down, and Victor went down to get it, and he knew as soon as he got underneath it, it was going to carry out of here. Now, that was just a really nice, classic uppercut swing there by the Tigers' designated hitter.
You sit there clapping and clapping. The look on your face. You know, you single-handedly now can. Were you in second place, or what place were you in?
I'm not quite sure where I was at today. I know I'm creeping up.
You're making a move.
Making a move.
1-1. He went around. Yep. So says first base umpire James Hoy. Action in the bullpen. Matt Belisle warming up. You know, for as good as Santana has been this year, he has had some starts in which he's given up some runs. He's had a couple of 5-run games, a 7-run game, a 6-run game.
And he really hasn't pitched all that well in this ballpark lately. Overall numbers good, but not necessarily here.
That looks like it might be trouble. It is. Fair ball. Kicked around the corner by Kepler. Matuk on his way to third. Here comes the relay. He's in there.
Nothing wrong with that Matuk ankle, that's for sure.
Mikey motoring out of the box, his second triple of the year.
Right fielder number 14, Alex Presley.
Hey, once this ball hits the grass down the right field line, Matuk running out of the batter's box all the way. And once he hits first, he has an idea. Now he picks up Dave Clark over at third base, and he's off and rolling with a head-first slide without a play.
3 straight hits, all for extra bases against Santana here in the 4th. And the Twins now are forced to pull the infield in. Still nobody out. Here is Alex Presley. Presley had a single in the second, batting a very solid .325. Little nubber off the end of the bat. Sano on the bare hand. Got him at first base. Nice play.
Yeah, for a guy that's 6'5" and weighs 275 pounds, that's a really good play.
Big fella. What do you say we go back to college with Nissan and with Mikey Matuk after that triple? Mikey has really kind of seized a lot of playing time with the Tigers, and he is a former LSU Tiger.
Look at you, ready to open up the yearbook again, huh?
I am. At .344 batting average at LSU from 09 to 11.
College World Series champion in 2009, an All-American as well in 2011, and a #1 draft choice.
Originally by the Rays and now a Tiger. All you need is a chance, and Mikey has taken advantage of that.
You know, one of the things that Mikey has shown us now, Mario, that he has gotten some extended playing time. And we didn't really know because we hadn't seen Mikey Montook other than spring training and sporadically at the beginning of the year. But with a consistent playing time, he has flashed some leather in center field. He's shown us a lot of range. He's shown us some power and the ability to go gap to gap to drive in big runs. And he's also demonstrated his speed.
Yeah, all of that. When you see a guy as an opponent, and we saw him sparingly with the Rays, I think he hit a home run against the Tigers a couple of years ago, and I remember thinking, well, this guy's got a little bit of pop. And when you see his ability now to spray the ball all over the field, he just took that pitch and drilled a triple down the right field line. He adds some energy, some excitement to be sure. That'll get away from Castro, and it's going to score a run. Mikey scores standing up. 5-0 Tigers.
Talk about anticipation. You know that Santana, especially in fastball counts, has been throwing a lot of breaking balls. And Montook on third base. Nice little walking lead. As soon as that ball hit the dirt, Montook was off and running and able to score with ease.
Wild pitch. And Iglesias looks at a strike. Two and two. Double by Castellanos, homered by Martinez, triple by Montook. Little roller foul down the third base line. Tigers already 7 hits in this ball game.
And they're doing it against a guy that's had a really good year and made an all-star team so far. That would be Urban Santana.
5 of the 7 Tigers hits in this game are for extra bases. Again, rolled foul right at Dave Clark.
Let's take one more look at the secondary lead here of Montook. I want you guys to focus on his right foot in his secondary lead. When you take your secondary lead, watch the right foot. As soon as this right foot hits the ground right there, now you're in a position to take off for home plate. You see the momentum's already carrying him toward home plate, and that's how he's able to score. His momentum was carrying him down the line already. He didn't have to go from a standstill position. And whether you're at first base or second base or even third base, Mario, when you take your secondary lead, they always want you on that right foot, because if the catcher turns and throws, all you have to do is spin that foot and dive back to the bag.
See, that's a little nuance of the game that really sometimes you don't notice. And there's another one outside from Santana. It's falling apart for him now as he walks Iglesias.
I think Paul Molitor is going to have to go get him because he clearly doesn't have it here tonight.
Nope, and here he comes. 96 pitches into this game. We're only in the 4th, and he's given up 5 runs.
Yeah, he had one of those starts tonight like our ace had last night with Michael Ford.
So Santana will depart. It's going to be a wall side windows pitching change, and we'll be back to Target Field. A 5-0 lead now as we play here in the fourth inning. Still only one out. They have knocked out the ace of the Twins, Irvin Santana. And so the Tigers doing some good work against an all-star tonight. Here's Matt Belisle to take over for the Twins.
And Belisle has a .535 earned run average. He has punched out 28. He has walked 18 this year, pitching in his 40th game out of the Twins bullpen.
First one is in there. A strike call to Kinsler. Tigers 3 extra base hits and a wild pitch in this inning. 1 on, 1 out.
And for the most part, Belisle's fastball, slider, an occasional curveball and changeup.
Runner goes. Castro's throw is in time. Out at second is Iglesias. They got that down there quickly.
That head first slide, man, I sure hope he didn't hurt his hand. He got a poor jump. It's a great throw by Castro with real quick feet, and I just hope Iglesias didn't hurt himself. Looked awkward.
Ouch, yes it did.
See him shaking that right hand.
Kinsler rolls it toward third base. Sano charging, gloving, and picked it first by Mauer to end the inning.
Look how big, man.
Big inning for the Tigers, though. They scored 3 runs, 2 of them on the home run by Victor. In fact, Vimar tonight has gone deep twice.
Do it, Victor.
In the second, and here in the fourth.
I see you.
5-0 Tigers. Tigers get 1 in the second, 1 in the third, 3 in the fourth. They lead 5-0 here in game 1 in this series. Sanchez going back to work has Zach Granite to lead it off here in the fourth inning. This young man has not been in the big leagues very long, but he is shot to the top of the best names in the league list. Zach Granite. Be a great name for a linebacker, wouldn't it?
Yes, it would.
Ball carrier taken down by Zach Granite. Not a big guy.
No. Playing center field. Byron Buxton, their very talented center fielder, landing on the disabled list again.
Granite was having one heck of a year down in AAA. In fact, he was batting .360. He was the International League Player of the Month in June when he would hit .470.
Yeah, really nowhere for him to go, though, because they have Rosario, they have the Kepler kid that's performing very well, and they have Buxton, who was the #1 draft choice, and they're still waiting for Buxton to really start to perform to the potential that they all believe that he has.
If Granite performs the way they think he can at this level, I wonder if they spin one of these outfielders off for some pitching.
That's a good point.
Here's the 2-2. Bouncing ball right side under the glove of Kinsler. It'll be a leadoff single. We check in now with Trevor Thompson.
Guys, the longest serving manager in Twins history is Tom Kelly, and in 2012 they retired his number 10. Today here in the plaza at Target Field, they unveiled this statue of Tom Kelly. They're celebrating the 30-year anniversary of the 1987 Twins team that won the World Series. Of course, Kelly's teams won 2 World Series in '87 and '91. Who will ever forget that game with Jack Morris on the mound?
Yeah, Trev, no doubt. And there's TK.
16 seasons as a manager in Minnesota. He won over 1,100 games.
That performance by Jack Morris, one of the great performances in postseason play.
They had some great managers in baseball back in that era where Tom Kelly was managing. Of course, Sparky Anderson and Earl Weaver and Gene Mock and Tony La Russa, and the list just goes on and on. I mean, you had some really good managers in baseball back in those days. A lot of old school great managers. Yeah, Billy Martin was around at that time.
Tom Kelly certainly fits that mold.
And most of them weren't great players, Mario. They weren't great players. They all played at some point in time.
Runner goes.
No shot for it either.
And it's going to be Tardy. He got himself a nice little motor of a jump. And Granite has his first steal.
Down by 5, most teams will not attempt to steal a base unless they are 100% sure they can steal the base. And gathering by the jump that Granite got, getting his first stolen base of his career, he was 100% sure he was going to make it.
So now Mauer a chance to drive in a run. Straight foul back out of play, 2-1.
Bobby Cox, Joe Torre. I left off a few guys. That era, man, was some great managers.
I'm trying to think of a guy that was a really good, great player that turned out to be a good manager in the major leagues. I know Ted Williams tried it for a while. And
Lou Piniella comes to mind. Yeah. Not great, but a good player for a long time.
Like Socha, good player.
Yeah. Not many.
No.
Not many.
Here's the 2-1. Big swing there by Mauer. 2-2. That ball's been pretty good in terms of the pitch count most of the night. It's at 50 right now here in the 4th. Mauer waits on the 2-2. Tried to thread the outside corner, could not do it. 3-2.
If he throws Mauer a fastball, Mauer is going to hit the ball to left field. He might get a base hit in that direction. That's where he does most of his damage. Historically, that's what he's done. But if he throws him a breaking ball or a changeup, he'll roll over something to the right side of the infield. That would give Miggy or even Ian Kinsler a chance to make a play.
Lost it, ball 4.
So at this unveiling of Tom Kelly's statue this afternoon, as I said, guys, they are commemorating the 30th anniversary of that 1987 World Championship team, and Kelly had his family on board with him, some players from that '87 team, and his statue out in the plaza here at Target Field also is accompanied by some of the statues of a couple of players that played for him. Kent Herbeck also has a statue out there, as does the late Kirby Puckett. those aren't the only statues. Tony Levo has one out there. Harmon Killebrew has one out there, as does Rod Caruso. That statue's among some pretty good company as far as the Twins organization is concerned.
Oh, you're not kidding, man. Oliva, Carew, holy smokes.
That's tall cotton out there.
Yeah, it is. 87 world champs. 30th anniversary. They're celebrating. At 87 went on to beat the Tigers in the CS, ALCS to go to the World Series. There's a drive to left center field, going to get down a base hit. Granite comes around to score, and Mauer will go to second and stop there. RBI single for Miguel Sano.
The second time that Miguel Sano has hit an absolute seed off of Anibal Sanchez here tonight. The first time he got a base hit the opposite way. This time he whistled one into left center field. Cut fastball upstairs. He gets on top of it and just absolutely kills it. I wonder what the hit speed was on that one.
I'm about to say the same thing. The first one was what, 110?
110. That was at least 110.
Here's Kepler now, still nobody out. Swing and a miss by Kepler. He popped up in his only at bat. Sanchez gave up a leadoff single in the second, then got two lazy pop-ups and eventually ended the inning with no damage. The Twins with an uprising here in the fourth. They've gotten on the board. Strike call. 0-2 on Kepler.
Getting word on the hit speed on that last base hit off the bat of Sano. 111.
Oh, you're right, it was faster.
He consistently hits the ball with a hit speed that's over 100 miles an hour.
Kepler has power, 10 home runs, was among the rookie leaders last year in that category. Big month of July, batting .333 coming in. Here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss. Down he goes, a strikeout for Sanchez. Third of the night for Anibal.
It's good breaking ball there. It looks like a curveball at 76 miles an hour thrown by Sanchez there. He hasn't thrown many curveballs tonight. It's been mostly four-seamers, cutters, and changeups.
Here is Grossman. Pulled on the ground, knocked down by Miggy. That came up, got him on the chest. He'll get the out at first base.
Whoa, my goodness.
Runners will advance, 2 gone. He is fortunate that thing did not come up and hit him in the face. Come on, take a look at him. Kevin Rand, the head athletic trainer.
I remember when the Tigers first acquired Miguel Cabrera. Didn't he have a ball jump up in his face?
He did.
Spring training.
Spring training, right?
In Clearwater.
Yeah, and left a pretty good scar.
Yeah.
I think he's all right.
Yeah, he is. Look at me. Can't hurt me. So I'm all right. That was a nasty hop.
Oh,
God, that was a nasty hop.
It's closer than I thought to his face. So with 2 outs, here is Eddie Rosario. Runners at second and third for the Twins.
Get the married men off the infield.
Sanchez will throw from the windup here. Rosario grounded back to the mound in his first at bat.
And that Grossman ball right there hit Miguel at 103 miles an hour, so he hit his pretty hard too.
1-0 on Rosario.
Anibal Sanchez really needs to focus here with 2 outs, and to make sure when he gets back in the dugout the score is 5-1. He's got to pitch Rosario really tough here.
Ball 2. Sanchez, for the most part tonight, has avoided trouble, but gave up a single, a steal, and a walk here in the 5th inning, then a base hit by Sano.
Andriaza, the rookie, is in the on-deck circle. He's got a base open here, so he doesn't have to give in to Rosario. He can simply put him on if he chooses to do so and go after the rookie.
3-0 on Rosario.
We've watched a lot of guys the last couple of days swing the bat in 3-0 counts.
That'll be ball 4 to load the bases. Second walk in the inning, so Rosario will not beat Sanchez. Instead, he'll go after Adrianza.
That's a veteran move there by Anibal Sanchez. He clearly pitched around Rosario there. Did not give him anything remotely close to a strike to pitch to this young man right here. Now he has to make sure he's able to finish the rookie off.
Infield in at third base. Castellanos on the cut of the grass. Everybody else is back against the rookie. And now Sanchez taking too long. Adrianza struck out in the second. He's 0 for 1 in this game. And he looks at a strike on the outer edge. Sanchez got the benefit of that call. Mauer at third, Sano at second, and Rosario at first. Swing and a miss. Now he's in the hold in the count 0-2.
Anibal can go a lot of different ways here now, and with Andriaza. And he can simply go upstairs to see if he'll chase a fastball around the letters. But if you throw a breaking ball, you have to make sure you get it in an area where he can't reach it, and Avila has to make sure he blocks it.
Now they go 2. Rip foul. Ooh, man, Adrianza got in front of that one. And that's going to bring Avila out to the mound. Adrianza was acquired mostly for his glove. They didn't feel he would hit a whole lot. He didn't really hit a whole lot with San Francisco. Parts of 4 years in the big leagues with the Giants, but he's turned in a decent year with the bat. Came in at 309. Out of Miranda, Venezuela, 27 years old. Now the crowd getting into it. 0-2. The count stays on Adrianza. Outside. Longest hitting by far for Sanchez. Pitch count up to 67 now. Here's the 1-2. Outside again. 2 balls, 2 strikes. So the rookie has done a good job of getting back into the count. You've got Castro waiting on deck, the number 9 hitter. Sanchez working very methodically and again steps on. Bases loaded with Twins, and now he wants his catcher out. Nothing wrong with making sure of what you want to throw here and be on the same page with your catcher in a big spot in this game, because a base hit gets the Twins right back in it.
Iglesias really playing up the middle. So apparently they've got a really nice scouting report on Andriaza that tells him that he's pull hitter on the ground.
Driven to right field. It's going to drop. Base hit. 1 run scores. Sano being held up. He's coming home. And safe at first, and the run will score. 2 runs in. Cabrera cut it off. They tried to get the runner, Adrianza, and the ball was dropped. And the rookie foils the strategy, and now it's 5-3.
He got a 75-mile-per-hour changeup, and he timed it perfectly. He ripped the ball very aggressively to right field. Presley in right field came up firing. Sano did not get a good break from second base. It looked like they may have had a play on him had Mickey let that ball go. Instead, Mickey caught it. He flipped it to Ian Kinsler, who was behind the base runner, but Ian Kinsler was not able to hold on to the baseball. And Sanchez is frustrated with himself.
I think they did have a play at the plate had that ball not been cut off.
Yes, Sano did not get a good break from second base.
And it looked like Gene Glenn was trying to hold him up at third base, but he just kept coming.
Yep, agreed.
And so now it's a 2-run game. Tying runs are on the bases. And here is Castro. This is the 8th man to bat in the inning.
Yeah, Anibal Sanchez was able to get ahead of Andriaza, the rookie. No balls and 2 strikes. And before working the count to 2-2 before he hit that 75-mile-per-hour changeup.
Action down the Tigers bullpen. Warwick Soppold is loosening quickly. Here's the 1-0. Little pop-up, shallow left, Upton coming in to retire the side. So that is that for the Twins. They're back into the ball game now. They scored 3 runs in the inning. Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by the Sam Bernstein Law Firm, official legal services sponsor of Fox Sports Detroit. Bell Tire for tires and auto service. Everybody needs a Bell Tire guy. And go for thrilling drives and deals at the Chevy Summer Drive Chevrolet. Find new roads. Nighttime settling in now here in downtown Minneapolis. And once again, it's a ball game. The Twins come back with a 3 spot to make it a 5-3 ball game. Frank Viola.
He was a good pitcher.
Yes, he was. So they bring back the alumni of the '87 championship team here. They're celebrating them all weekend long here in Minnesota.
Yeah, I just ran into Ken Herbeck as well out in the hallway here. I think he's getting ready to do something on the home side of the television.
Here is Avila to get it started. Tigers trying to rebuild that lead now. Strike 1 on Alex. Strikeout, ground out tonight for Avila. Belisle came in to get the final out of the 4th. Santana bounced in the game in the 4th inning. The Tigers really hit a pretty good pitcher hard tonight. 5 runs on 7 hits.
They made him work too. Yeah, they laid off everything that was down in the strike zone and they forced him up in the zone. And when he did come over the plate, several guys hit the ball hard, mainly Victor.
Who just happens to be your guy and pick the stick. Mainly Victor.
Yeah.
Here's the 1-1. A little bit high. 2-1 on Avila. Well, Miguel being tended to still by Kevin Rand. He took that hard ground ball off the bat of Grossman. It looked like right off his collarbone. And the look on his face is one of a lot of pain. That had to hurt, man. It left Grossman's bat at 103 and it hit Miggy square. I mean, he didn't get glove on the ball. Meanwhile, Avila looks at a strike. Doug Teeter also over there to check on Miguel. He's done. So Cabrera going back to the clubhouse. Here's the 2-2. And it's outside. How about that? Avila again is in a 3-ball, 2-strike count. The pitchers today that the Twins have ran out there have had a lot of 3-ball counts. The starter Santana had at least 7 of them before he left. Yeah, Santana walked 2 in the game through 95 pitches. 95 pitches in 3 2/3. Yeah, and 55 were strikes. Ground ball slowly to the right side, gobbled up by Dozier. And Vilo's out. He's 0 for 3 tonight. 1 gone in the 5th.
The left fielder.
Time now for the Bernstein advantage. Here are the updated numbers on Mr. Upton since 2016 against the Twins. Pretty good. Yeah, 25 games. He scored 23 runs, 6 homers, driven in 16, and the batting average well over 300 for J-Up. Romine will be moving on deck. Cabrera's spot was due next, so he's going to take over in this game. There's a strike called on Upton. Huge shift on the left side of the infield for J-Up. I can't remember many guys playing Justin Upton to pull like this. I don't remember any. This is a first for me. The 0-1. Outfield playing straight, but the infield pulled, and now the second baseman Castro, I should say Dozier rather, is heading back to the other side of the bag. So it's not nearly as severe of a shift. I guess they feel like when he is ahead in the count, or the count is even, he is more likely to pull. But when he falls behind, as he is right now, they're thinking that he might try to hit the ball the other way. Justin's last 2 hits have gone to right center field. Did he go? Nope. 1-2 on Upton. A lot of sliders and thrown by Belisle. Fastball tops out at about 91.
He has a curveball and a changeup. So he has 4 pitches, which is rare for a guy that pitches out of the bullpen.
Swing and a miss, and Jay up down on strikes, 2 away. So Belial has retired all 3 that he has faced since coming out of the bullpen. Here's Romine now to pinch hit for Miguel.
Here's one more look at that ball in slow motion and just how close it got to hitting Miggy in the face. It left Grossman's bat at 103 and jumped up and hit Miggy in the upper chest.
So Romine will play first as well. Here's ball 1.
Romine has played every position on the field this year. First, second, short, third, left, center, and right.
Romine got his first start in right field in the game last night in KC.
I guess that's not totally true because he hasn't caught.
Right.
But he is the emergency catcher. I guess of the positions you would expect him to play. As a good utility player, he's played all of those.
And he almost became the emergency pitcher last night.
Yep.
In that blowout game, they were thinking about it.
Although it looked like Alex was lobbying to be that pitcher last night. You see him loosening up in the dugout?
He was, but I think he was joking. I don't know. Now the 1-2. Romine rolls it foul.
Here's the positions that Romine's played this year. Every last one of them with the exception of the catcher's position. And let's hope he doesn't have to pitch this year.
In on his hands that time. He stayed alive.
Good cut fastball there thrown by Belial at 89. In on the hands of Andrew.
5-3. Tigers have the lead. It was 5-0 until the Twins got 3 in the 4th. Another souvenir. Romine a career high in the home run category. He's not a guy that'll hit a lot, but he's got 4 of them this year. Who's that guy rooting for, do you think? I'd assume the Tigers. Again, the 1-2.
Hit him.
Romine hit by the pitch. 2-out base runner.
Third baseman Nicholas Castellanos.
Got him on the left knee. Right above the left knee. Cut fastball thrown by Belial with a lot of east to west movement on it. A lot of action on that pitch. So that number 4 spot tonight in the Tigers batting order getting beat up. Miggy took one off the chest. Now Romine takes one off the leg.
Here's Castellanos with 2 outs. Belial got ahead 0-2 on Romine, ends up hitting him. Strike 1 on Castellanos, who spins out of the batter's box.
Although Belial not necessarily pitching all that well, and they say that he, Jason Castro, along with some of the other veterans they brought in this year, Jimenez, have really helped out this by and large very young Twins team, and those 3 guys are a main reason why the team's performing well this year. Good clubhouse leaders.
Ball low, 1-1.
All 3 guys have a lot of experience.
I think catchers sometimes can be underappreciated at what they bring aside from what they will give you offensively.
They signed Jason Castro to a a 3-year contract after he spent the first 8 years of his career in Houston.
Popped him up. Middle of the infield, Dozier. And that'll end the inning. No runs, a hit batter, and 1 man left. Tigers baseball tonight presented by Bell Tire.
Here's our Comerica Bank game summary. Home runs by Victor Martinez. A solo shot that was in the 2nd inning. He did one better. He hit a 2-run shot that came in the 4th inning. The Tigers were holding the Twins scoreless until the bottom half of the 4th inning. That's when the youngster Andrianza got a breaking ball at the bottom of the strike zone with the bases loaded and drove in 2. And now the score is 5-3 Tigers, bottom half of the 5th.
And Brian Dozier will lead things off, and he looks at a ball outside. 1-0. It'll be Dozier, Granite, Mauer.
Anibal Sanchez was very upset at himself because he had an open base. He clearly pitched around Rosario, the left fielder, to go after the rookie, and then he made a mistake on the rookie, and the rookie was able to drive in 2 runs.
Dozier looks at a strike. 1-1. Well, it was great between innings. We had John Gordon, the former radio voice of the Minnesota Twins, pop in and say hi. And John, one of the great announcers in this game, and teamed up with Herb Carneal here in the Twin Cities for so many years.
Yeah.
2 great gentlemen.
Living down in Fort Myers these days.
He is. Bouncer right to Kinsler.
This much I could tell you. These Twins are hitting the ball extremely hard tonight.
And Dozier now is 1 for 3. That'll bring up Zach Granite. 5 runs, 7 hits for the Tigers. 3 runs, 5 hits for Minnesota. Granite got it started with a single, a steal, and a run scored in the last half inning. 1 for 2, tried to bunt his way on. Granite last year was the Twins minor league player of the year. That was at AA. He went to AAA this year and absolutely tore it up. And here he is. In there, a strike call. Granite appears to be one of those guys that if he sticks in the big leagues is going to stay here. I think a little bit with his speed, his ability to put the ball in play. Little looper in the air to left field for Justin Upton. And there are 2 gone. Time for a game break now, and Mickey York.
For your first baseman, third is Twins first baseman Joe Mauer.
All right, Mick. Well, it's certainly going to be interesting to watch the White Sox the next 2 or 3 years, I would think.
The White Sox have a lot of talent, and they've traded away a lot of talent in return. And Rick Hahn, their general manager, has gotten back some of the best young talent in baseball. Now, will all that talent hit at the major league level? You never know, but boy, do they have some players.
Certainly have a boatload of depth now and quality depth in the minor leagues. And I think you're right. It's hard to project who will be able to do things at that kind of level in the major leagues, but who knows?
But the deals that he has made for Adam Eaton, Chris Sale, and the players that they've gotten back in return for Robertson and Canely has been incredible.
Frazier.
Yes.
So a lot of their veteran talent is gone.
When you decide to do a rebuild, this is exactly what you have to do. You have to do what the White Sox have done.
Yep.
I mean, you can't do it halfway.
You know, that deal that included Robertson, Frazier, and Canely. I think Canely might be the best player of the bunch.
He was throwing 100 miles an hour. The Yankees didn't really want Frazier.
Right. But you got to take
They
it.
wanted Robertson, and they also wanted Canely. They had to take Frazier in the deal.
Here's the 2-2. Ball 3 on Joe Mauer.
And they also did not want the Boston Red Sox to get Frazier.
Yep, good point. Two out, nobody on. We're in the 5th inning. Mauer slicing one toward left center field. That'll get down, split the gap. Matuk goes to the warning track to run it down, and Joe Mauer has a double.
That is classic Joe Mauer.
2 out, 2-base hit. Hey, the Tigers battle the Royals this Monday through Wednesday. Save on great seats with the weekday value pack and get 4 tickets, hot dogs, chips, and drinks, all for just $19 per person. Go to tigers.com or call 866-66-TIGER. Joe Mauer, 1,908 hits, and so that's where he stands in Twins history.
Ooh. He's approaching a really good player in Tony Oliva.
Careful here now. Sano stands in. He's hit a couple of rockets in this game. They wanted the appeal, and James Hoy didn't hear him down there.
There's Tony Oliva on the right of your screen. He could hit, boy. He could really hit. He's one of the nicest men you'll ever meet. He's here every single day.
Yeah. Yeah, he really, truly is a nice man. One and one on Sano, who with one swing of the bat could tie this game.
He hits a lot of home runs, but with that comes a lot of strikeouts. He's already struck out 125 times this year, which is one fewer than Chris Davis with a K out in Oakland has punched out.
Way out in front.
And La Mariposa at 72 miles an hour. That butterfly changeup. Can't throw it again, though, I don't think. Once you show it, you got to go with something else. Oh, he did it again.
Did you see Sano?
That one at 65. That's under the speed limit.
Keep your hands back. Keep your hands back. Oh, and he just barely did it.
I mean, he jumps out there, and then he jumps back, and he jumps out there again. I mean, you got time to uncoil, recoil, and still swing.
Two and two on Sano.
Every pitch, and the 5 pitches thrown so far have been away from him. Every last one of them away from him.
Tigers led 5-0, and the Twins got 3 in the bottom of the 4th. Sano swings and misses. Down on strikes. They will strand the 2-out double. 4th strikeout of the game now for Sanchez. It'll be Victor Martinez to lead off the 6th. He already has 2 homers tonight.
Call Sam of the game, and Victor Martinez has had a good day already. He's homered twice. He homered back in the 2nd inning. That was on a 94-mile-per-hour fastball thrown by Irvin Santana. And then Irvin threw a changeup up to the bottom of the zone. Victor went down to get that one and hit that one over the out-of-town scoreboard. So 2 homers today for Victor. 2 runs scored. He's driven in 3.
See what kind of luck Matt Belisle will have against him. Martinez, Matuk, and Presley for the Tigers as we go to the 6th inning.
And Victor looking like he's feeling it today.
Rolled foul just outside of the bag.
Ooh, nice play.
Nice backhanded play.
That's what I'm talking about.
Five runs, 7 Tigers hits, 3 runs, 6 hits for Minnesota.
And last time Victor had a multi-homer game was July of 2016.
Long run for Sano out of play. You know, Sano moves pretty good for a big guy.
He does. He weighs 275 pounds, but he has some athleticism to go with that big body. I mean, you have to be somewhat athletic to play that position.
Sano headed to the opposite side of the field. They played a pull.
Looks like he should be playing on Sundays, though.
Bashir is warming up for Minnesota. Victor waiting on the 0-2. Got him.
Outstanding breaking ball there by Belisle. And first couple of pitches were fastballs, and he came back with a really good curveball. And Victor swung right through it.
Here's Mikey Matuk.
And Tigers need to get this offense in gear again. Belisle has come in and kind of slowed him down.
Big night for Mikey, a walk and a 3-bagger. Ball 1. Mikey way back in the batter's box, slightly open stance. I always wondered how batting stances formed, because different guys have different stances. It's, I guess, starts when you're a little kid, what feels most comfortable.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times as kids you kind of form your swing by watching guys on television.
Right back to the mound, knocked down. Going to be a tough play. Not in time. It'll be an infield hit. Matuk is aboard.
Man, ball right at him. One hopper, but Bell out, not able to field it cleanly. Right off his glove.
That'll be the 8th hit of the night for the Tigers. Here's Presley.
And both Matuk and Presley have been playing some really good baseball. And for the most part, they have platooned in center field, but with JD Martinez now being gone, that kind of opens up that right field spot. As a matter of fact, the Tigers have started 3 different players in right field since JD Martinez was traded to the Arizona Diamondbacks. And that's probably what they're going to have to do the remainder of the way, you would think.
Yep, agreed. Runner goes, and it's fouled off.
Huge jump there by Matuk. I mean, huge jump.
It's almost as if Belial didn't pay any attention at all.
Pretty much a straight steal, too, because he did not look in until he got closer to second base. That would be Mikey Matuk. A lot of times in a hit and run situation, the runner will take about 3 steps toward that next base and then peek in and to see whether that ball was made, put in play or not.
Presley given time. One thing we do know, these guys, Presley, Matuk, bottom of the lineup, man, they stirred up. Mikey was on the move in the last pitch, and he'll draw and throw. And there's something to be said about guys that have a little bit of energy. Bring that to your lineup, and they've done a really good job on top of that of turning things over to the top of the lineup.
Well, for so long the Tigers had been a one-dimensional team, and it was a good team with a lot of power hitters, guys that could hit 300, guys that could drive the ball into the seats, but they didn't have the table setters, the guys that could steal bases, the guys that could manufacture runs for you. But now they have a couple of guys like that in Presley, Matuk. Iglesias also can play that same kind of game. Romine as well. So they have a better blend these days. And it's funny how if you add a couple of guys that have speed, and we haven't really heard how poor the Tigers are a base running team a whole lot this year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When you add some guys that can run a little bit.
Iglesias waiting on deck. Sprayed foul down the third base line.
And still waiting word on Miguel Cabrera. Obviously he left the game with probably a contusion or something, they're probably calling it, I'm thinking, with that ground ball that jumped up and hit him in the chest.
Presley is a former Minnesota Twin, albeit very briefly. Back in 2013, he batted .283 for part of the season here in Minnesota. Went around, strike 3 called. Presley tried to hold, could not do it. Another strikeout for Belial. Parents want to bring your little leaguer closer to the game? Well, now you can with the membership to the Tigers Kids Club. Each Kids Club member receives a jersey, lunch cooler, baseball cap, school supply kit, lanyard, passport, and so much more. For additional information, Or if you'd like to order, go to tigers.com/kidsclub. Do it quickly, though, while supplies last.
And the little kids right there, man, thinking about the baseball game.
Iglesias looks the ball one.
That's the main reason why baseball is getting much friendlier with electronics and different things like that, because kids, they're always on their phones, they're always on their tablets, and if you could find a way to present the game to them on tablets and on phones, they might watch a little bit more.
Little looper, first base side foul. You had a cell phone when you were 12, right?
Yeah, I sure did.
Yeah.
It was as big as a shoe. You remember your first cell phone?
I do.
Did you have one of those big ones?
Yeah, but well, it wasn't one of those huge shoe-sized ones, but it was one of those ones where you pulled the antenna out, and the thing would be waving in the wind as you're sitting there making a call.
It was funny how people used to walk around with those big old cell phones, thinking they were cool.
Yeah. Not really. They thought they were. Here's the 1-1. Bouncing ball to short. Adrianza goes to second for the four side, retired. No runs, one hit, one man left. To the bottom of the sixth we go.
Anibal Sanchez had a quiet fifth inning, but the fourth not so much. That was granted with a leadoff single. He stole a base. Sano hit an absolute rocket into left center field, and then you have Grossman hitting that seed off Mickey's chest, and Andreasen in a 2-2 pitch, a breaking ball down, drove in a couple with 2 outs. Anibal was not happy with that pitch he threw to the rookie after walking Rosario to load the bases to get to Andreasen.
2-run game as we go to the bottom of the sixth, and it'll be Max Kepler to lead it off, then Grossman, then Rosario.
And Tigers have some activity in their bullpen just in case Anibal runs into any trouble in this inning.
It'll float in, but a little bit high.
That's exactly what it did, floated in.
Daniel Stump, the Tigers bullpen. We've seen a lot of Stump recently.
Yeah.
Swing and a miss. It's kind of hard to watch that last inning last night with Alex Wilson struggling so much. Alex has not had a good second half for the Tigers. He's been such an integral part of the Tigers bullpen.
Agreed.
But that one last night just kept getting away. High fly ball left field, not deep. Here comes Upton. Kepler's out. He's 0 for 3. Here's Alex Wilson. All it takes is one good outing, though, to get things turned around. Sanchez, meanwhile, has done pretty good work since that 3-run fourth. Grossman is 0 for 2. He's the one that hit that ground ball right at Cabrera that came up and got him like around the collarbone area and then knocked Miggy out of the game eventually. Cabrera would stay in for the rest of the half inning defensively, then left.
It looked like it really started to tighten up on Miggy to the point where it looked like he was having a difficult time of getting the arm up over the head. It looked like he was having a tough time even lifting it up. But knowing Miggy like we know Miggy, he'll be right back out there tomorrow.
One and two. And Robbie Grossman got him. Strike three. Grossman caught looking.
Nice little swing back fastball at 90 miles an hour that caught a whole lot of play. Look at the action on this two-seamer.
The left fielder, Eddie Rosario.
Eddie Rosario stands in. Ball one. Walking a ground out. Rosario tapped right back to Sanchez in his first at bat. Anibal now is about to throw his 100th of the night. And mistimed away, 3-0. And here it is by inning after 100.
And really the only stressful inning was the fourth when they scored 3 runs against Anibal.
Here's the 3-1. And that's a walk, a 2-out base on balls. The second time Rosario has walked. That'll bring Adrianza to the plate. It's going to bring Brad out as well, and he's already signaled.
Yeah, I think Brad had his mind made up that as soon as one guy got on base, he was going to lift Sanchez from the contest.
So it'll be a wall side windows pitching change. Daniel Stumpf coming in for Anibal Sanchez, and we'll be back. Here as we play in the 6th inning, and Victor Martinez a big night, a couple of homers, his first multi-homer game of the year. Adrianza had a 2-run single in the 4th inning, and now he's going to come to the plate here in the 6th with the runner on and 2 men out. Sanchez done for the night. He will go 5 2/3 in this game. Here are the season road numbers on Daniel Stumpf.
Pretty good. And 108 earned run average. Pitching in now his 11th game. He's logged 8 1/3 innings. Whip way under 1. And control has been good away from Comerica Park.
Oh, he threw it away. He might get the 3rd on this. Rosario will go to 3rd base. He's in there standing up. Well, that was less than ideal.
And Tigers, they made 3 miscues in last night's game. And this one just gets away. No play here for Romine.
Two-base throwing error on the pitcher. Threw it wide at first base. Romine had no chance. Now they've got a man at 3rd with 2 outs.
And Daniel this year in the inherited runners department, he's inherited 11 when coming into games, and 4 of those have scored.
Adrianza didn't like that call at all, and he is letting Tim Timmons know about it. Oh, 0-1. Fouled away. Now he's in the hole. 0-2.
He fell behind Anibal Sanchez 0-2 his last time up, but he was able to get the count to 2-2 and before singling and driving into.
Bashirs and Rogers, a couple of lefties tuning up.
Rogers has been money for them for the last 6 weeks or so.
Got him. Strike 3. Adrianza is caught looking, and that will end the inning. Nothing comes of the 2-base throwing error. Two-run lead as we go to the top of the 7th here at Target Field. Here is the upcoming pitching matchup presented by Wallside Windows. Kyle Gibson tomorrow night and Jordan Zimmerman.
And Zimmerman have a 5.58 earned run average, and Gibson checks in with a 6.29 ERA. That game tomorrow is a a 6 o'clock start, right?
It is 7 back home. Well, we've got a new pitcher now as Ian Kinsler will stand in. Back to the bullpen go the Twins, and it's going to be in a wall side windows change. Buddy Boshears.
And Boshears, not many fastballs. His fastball tops out at about 91 miles an hour, but he throws his curveball 33% of the time, and when he's not throwing the curveball, he's throwing the changeup. So he throws a lot of off-speed stuff. Tigers are going to have to stay back.
Kinsler, Avila, Upton facing the lefty. Ripped to left field and rolling out there and sliding is Rosario. Nice play.
One of the things that we talked about at the beginning of the game, if you weren't with us, is their outfield defense is one of the best in the game. Not necessarily the fastest, not necessarily the best offensive trio to go along with the defense, but Kepler and Buxton and Rosario, when those three are out there, there's not a whole lot dropping in the outfield.
Here is Avila. Your diagnosis on Mr. Cabrera was correct. A right clavicle contusion. X-rays negative. That would make him
day to day.
Day to day.
Day to day.
Avila's 0 for 3.
And saw saw Alex and Lloyd McClendon with the tablet out there looking at some video on Boshears and trying to figure out exactly what he does against left-handed batters. Brad was talking about how the Tigers have been using the tablet yesterday.
High fly ball left field. Looks like it's playable. And caught by Rosario at the edge of the track.
Brad was saying that the days are gone where you have all the hitters and then you call them into a meeting and then you discuss that night's starter and then you talk about all the relievers as well. He says guys just don't retain that well. So what you do is you obviously plan for the starter, but then when a reliever comes in and you don't necessarily know much about him, you see guys looking on the tablet right now trying to figure out exactly what Boshears might be trying to do.
You can't possibly, I would think, if you go over his scouting reports, retain everything on 5, 6, 7 guys out of their bullpen.
That's a great point, because you might talk about somebody in the bullpen and you might not see them until the 4th game of the series.
Right.
So by that time, you're not even understanding what the pitcher throws. We just saw Castellanos looking at it. Now Mikey Matuk is taking a long look at it. And if you could pick up any kind of an advantage, it bodes well for you.
Upton 1 for 3, an RBI double. Tigers up 5-3 in the 7th. Jay up on that front foot takes.
Man, the game has changed, but we got computers in the dugout.
Well, you knew it'd get there eventually. Boshears ready with the 1-1, and it's outside. 2 balls and 1 strike.
The last couple of hits that Justin Upton has gotten, he has driven the ball the opposite way, and I mean with a lot of authority. Both doubles, both hit extremely hard. One last night in Kansas City, one here tonight.
Close, just off the edge. 3-1. Shane Green in the Tigers bullpen.
Looks like the way that Brad wants to draw this one up tonight may be Green for the 7th, Rondon for the 8th, and Justin Wilson for the 9th, if this all goes according to his plan.
And Upton will take his walk. 2 out, base on balls.
Here's those 2 doubles by Justin Upton, and this is a welcome sign for me. Justin's a dead pull hitter. Most of his damage is to the pull field, but look at him stay with this ball right here, and look at the balance, the weight transfer, and the bat speed come through the strike zone. That was last night, and then the one he hit tonight. He hit this one even better. As a matter of fact, when he hit it, I think Justin thought it was gone. Look at him. Yeah, he thought it was gone.
I noticed that too.
But very impressive to see him go the opposite way like that, because he usually doesn't do that.
Here is Romine. Runner goes, and a huge jump. Upton is safe at second with a steal.
Boshears did not take one look at Justin Upton, and he has now stolen his 8th base of the season.
8 for 12 for Upton.
No chance for Jason Castro, the catcher.
Twins are looking at this. I'm not sure what they're looking at. Still waiting on their decision.
They're checking something.
Well, yeah, I think Molitor said no, but they were signaling to check.
It's too long. Did Justin come off the bag?
It's got to be the only thing I can think.
Stayed with him. Ooh.
Oh, man. Yep, that's what they're going to look at.
Man, I don't like this play.
I don't either, man. The guy stole the base.
I mean, I didn't even dig this play right here, man. They need to get rid of it, to be honest with you.
I mean, you are running as hard as you can to try and steal a bag, and there's only so much momentum you can stop on your own.
It's the second time we've seen Justin in a week slide in this same manner, Mario, and only to come off the bag to be tagged out. He did it at Comerica Park just a few days ago. Remember that?
Yep, I do. I think they might call him out.
I mean, usually the hitter, I mean, the glove guys, I mean, they would be throwing that ball back in. But these new rules now, you know, you have to stay on the bag. Well, they need to get rid of this one.
And you really have to totally alter the way you slide to make sure that you do not even come up. The old pop-up slide is gone now, and you really have to maintain that foot on the bag.
And I don't think, Mario, when they started to implement all these replay rules, they really envisioned this particular play right here getting the most replays. This particular play right here gets more challenges than any of the other plays, and it's by a good margin. A good margin. And they're now teaching the infielders. Just stay with them after they slide. Just keep the glove on them just in case they come off. Taking a long time to look at it, too.
Well, he called him safe. That's a call on the field. We'll see if they change it. Safe. Yep, not enough. Anytime it takes that long, they're going to stick with what the call was on the field.
I'm glad they called him safe.
Yeah, I agree. Well, I mean, not only because of St. Tiger, but I don't like that play. So the stolen base remains, and now Romine with a count of 1-0. Tigers need a 2-out base hit here to extend their lead. They're up by 2. Ground ball right to the shortstop. Adrianza knocks it down. He'll stay with it, and the inning is over. No runs, a walk, a steal, 1 man left. Coming up, the Consumers Energy 7th inning stretch. Here is the showstopper tonight. Did you happen to see what happened to Max Scherzer?
We were talking about this earlier. Max Scherzer gave up 3 home runs to the first 3 batters of the Arizona Diamondbacks today. Peralta, Pollock, and Lamb. Can you imagine that? 3 homers to the first 3 guys of the game.
Nope, not at all. Something you probably won't see again ever for Scherzer.
On 9 pitches. Three homers on 9 pitches to lead the game off.
Roll to the first baseman. Stump will cover. And 1 pitch, and Castro's out.
It's funny. We were talking about Maxwell Scherzer before the game today and just how well he and Clayton Kershaw were pitching.
It's going to be it for Stump as he gets the lefty with Dozier coming up. Tigers are going to want Shane Green. We're in the bottom of the 7th of a 2-run game.
Nice job by Stump.
Got a strikeout to end the 6th, and now a ground out here to start the 7th. Wall side windows pitching change. We'll be back.
Here at a comfortable Target Field this evening, and after leaving the hot temperatures in Kansas City almost to a man, the guys inside that clubhouse told me this feels a whole lot better. They were glad to escape that oppressive heat and humidity in Kansas City. Everybody except one guy, Mikey Mata, a new Louisiana native, didn't mind the heat down there in Kansas City, guys, but the rest of the guys much happier to be playing in more comfortable temperatures here this evening, and I'm more comfortable watching the game from my perch over here as well.
Yeah, Mikey didn't probably have too many people that agree with him on that.
I was getting ready to say, Trev, you probably feel a whole lot more comfortable yourself down there today.
Way. Even with the tie and jacket.
Well, did good work over in Kansas City, though, buddy.
Here is Dozier to get things started now against the right-hander Green, with Stump getting the first out. Green will come in, and here, look at his numbers by month.
Yeah, he wasn't very good in the month of June after having a really nice April and May, but in July, boy, he's been money. 9 games, 7 2/3. He hasn't given up anything.
Popped up. Not going to give up anything to Dozier here as Kinsler squeezes it, and there are 2 gone.
Yeah, but that really does not tell the entire story regarding Shane Green. Last couple of years, runners in scoring position, he has been unbelievable.
Zach Granite will step in. Single steal run scored for Granite in 3 at-bats. Strike 1. Nick is on the grass at third in case Granite is thinking about dropping one down.
And Granite already attempted to bunt once in the game, but he fouled it off. And apparently that's part of his game. Nick's been playing them hit all year.
Man, he took advantage of it there, slicing one to left. 2-out single.
That's what happens though when you play in like that. The guy that's standing in the batter's box, if they can master the art of slapping the ball in that direction, if they just slap it on the ground 1 or 2 steps to your left or right, more than likely you're not going to make the play. Yeah, no shot.
It'll bring Mauer to the plate. On base twice, double and a walk for Mauer.
You got to keep Granite close. He's already stolen 1 base in the game. That came back in the 4th inning. And as a matter of fact, that was his first steal of his major league career. And they were trailing by 5 then.
Right. Strike 1.
Joe Mauer has taken the first pitch in all 4 of his plate appearances tonight. But that's nothing new for Mauer.
Tigers 5 runs, 8 hits, and the Twins 3 runs, 7 hits. Green wanted a strike, didn't get it.
It's a good fastball at 95. It's down. And it's got some late life on it as well. It's not a straight fastball. It's got some real nice moving action to it. Oh, that's a strike. No wonder why he wanted that strike.
Yeah, because it was one. Outside, 2-1. Tigers to 1 point led 5-0, and then the Twins scored 3 in the 4th, and they got it started with a single by Granite. Granite has singled here again. Sano on deck. The righty is Duffy, the lefty is Rogers. Mauer ahead in the count, 2-1. Bouncer back up the middle, right at Iglesias. And Mauer is out. That'll end the inning. No runs, a hit, 1 man left. 7 in the books. Tigers baseball presented by Bell Tire.
The top half of the 8th inning, and Nicholas Castellanos in the month of July has been outstanding. You look at his numbers in April, May, and June. They were good as well, especially in April, May, hitting the ball hard, but not a lot to show for it. But the last couple of calendar months, much more to show for it. The batting average up over 300 in July, and the OPS is over 1,000 as well. So Castellanos is kind of starting to get some more base hits with all the hard hit balls that he had been hitting really all year long.
Yeah, And we've got a new right-hander coming into the game. Now Tyler Duffy will check in.
And Duffy's got a good breaking ball. And pitching in his 36th game. 8 holds, 4.76 ERA. 46 strikeouts. He's walked 12. He's got a good fastball, but his signature pitch is his curveball.
Duffy will go to work against Castellanos, Martinez, Matuk in the Tigers' 8th. Nick swings and rolls it to short. Diving play on Rianza, but it'll have no chance. It'll be an infield hit for Castellanos. Fans, the Tigers host the Astros July 29th at 6:10. Former Tiger John Hiller will take part in a pregame Q&A session at 4:45 in the Big Head Court. Part of the Alumni Saturdays. Go to tigers.com or call 866-66-TIGER. Here's Martinez. Victor struck out in his last at bat. And Duffy darts one in there for a strike.
And there's that really good Duffy curveball. They call it a knuckle curve at 77.
Missed that one outside. There is action. Bruce Rondon will come on in the 8th inning for the Tigers. Tigers trying to tack on here. They lead by 2 in the 8th. Bouncing ball off the glove. They'll have only one play. Martinez is out and Castellanos moves to second. Bring in Trevor Thompson now. Trev.
Guys, as Mikey Matuk steps to the plate, I had a good conversation with Brad Osmus today about the contributions Mikey has been able to make, but not just Mikey, Alex Perez as well as Dixon Machado with their speed and their energy and what they can bring to the team as far as manufacturing runs when they're not able to hit those big 3-run homers and just their attitude around the clubhouse. And it said, Brad told me it brought him to the days near the end of his career when he didn't play every day and he had to be ready when that opportunity presented itself. He says these guys are doing an excellent job of it, although Mikey has gotten more run lately, but very pleased with the job these guys have done.
Yeah, Trev, they brought energy, and you know, as Brad said, look, we're going to miss J.D. Martinez as his bat. You certainly can't replace that, but the energy and the talents that both Presley and Matuk have been on display, and they can contribute at this level and have. Mikey cuts and misses 0-2. Matuk has been on base 3 times in this game. Single, triple, walk. The 0-2.
And Mario, he went on to say that it's their attitude that makes these guys so effective. All of them have the right temperament and the right attitude and the right approach day by day to be successful in that role. So very pleased with the attitude they bring to the clubhouse and onto the field.
Trev, what's impressed me, you speak of attitude, is that these guys waited for their chance. And they certainly have gotten their chance, and they've taken advantage of it. I mean, it could have been easy for Matuk early in the year. He had very playing time that was sparingly, and he just kind of waited his turn, and now here it is. And he's done a really good job. I think these guys realize it's a long season. Things will happen. Rosters kind of have turnover. There's change.
Right.
Through whether injuries or trades.
365 average for Mikey in his last 15 games.
Right back to the mound. This time it's snatched. They'll go to third, and the tag got him. Sano is able to hold on to the ball. He snow coned that thing. Castellanos is out.
That's a good play there by Duffy. I mean, not great base running by Nick, because you're already in scoring position. So once the ball is hit in the infield, it's going to be a gamble trying to get to third base. And a nice job by Duffy, who saw him out of the corner of his eye, fired a strike to Sano, and Sano able to apply the tag.
So 2 outs and a runner at first now. That'll bring up Presley.
Matuk might want to steal a bag here.
Fouled away.
Tigers have been aggressive on the base paths today.
Trying to keep him close. Matuk is 1 for 1 in stolen base chances. High fly ball toward left field, coming toward the foul line. Rosario, he will have room. Getting over, no runs, a leadoff single, 1 left. To the bottom of the 8th we go. Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by Comerica Bank, a part of Detroit and the community since 1849. Your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers, visit ChevyDetroit.com. See why Chevy drives the Motor City. And by Wallside Windows. We can do that. We are the factory. Traffic moving fast here in the Twin Cities. Gorgeous view of downtown Minneapolis. The Tigers Twins opening up this series, and big Bruce Rondon coming in for the Tigers.
And last time Bruce was on the mound a couple of nights ago in Kansas City, he pitched very well. Overall this season, the ERA for Bruce obviously elevated at 9, but he has pitched pretty good baseball since coming back from the minor leagues.
Here's Miguel Sano.
Couple big bodies out there. Rondon and Sano, boy. Huh?
It's a heavyweight matchup here.
Literally.
This is not bantamweight. Sano, Kepler, and Grossman.
Couple of big boys.
One throws hard, one hits it hard.
Look at those legs, man.
Swing and a miss.
Big bone, what they call them.
Big bone.
Yeah, big bone.
You haven't used that one in a while.
I know.
0-2 on Sano.
You add up both of their weights and you get a cool number of 537 pounds.
Uh-oh. That is slicing, though, and foul. Nice catch.
Made the play.
Yeah.
Brought the glove. Made the play. All those guys got gloves over there. It must be an area where a lot of foul balls go.
The 0-2. Swing and a miss. Slider from Bruce, and he got him on strikes, one gone.
It's now 127 strikeouts this year for Miguel Sano. He hits it hard, he hits it far, but he also strikes out quite a bit. And this is a good breaking ball thrown by Bruce. I mean, that thing looked like a fastball all the way. Look at it. Fastball, fastball, fastball. And then all of a sudden, when Sano started to swing, that's when the ball started to inch its way off the plate outside. That is the definition of a really good slider.
Tigers pitching tonight with 7 strikeouts. Bouncing ball, diving stop, Iglesias across the diamond, out. What a play by Iggy.
That is the main reason why when they do play the overshift against a left-handed batter, they leave Iglesias on that side of the diamond for plays just like this. No disrespect to Nicholas Castellanos, but he probably does not make this play. Iglesias with those really quick feet, one step and a dive, and then he gets up quickly and gets an easy out over at first base. Actually, it wasn't so easy. Why is he sliding in there? Why is he sliding here?
This is, I mean, you got to love the hustle and everything, but you can get hurt easily.
That is just not a good play. And with all the guys that are getting hurt around baseball, guys are still doing it. If I was a manager, I'd fine my guys for doing that. Think I'd get away with it?
No. 12 defensive runs saved by Iglesias. Well, I guess if you're the manager, you can do whatever you want.
I know guys are aggressive and guys are trying to get to the bag, but nothing good can happen from head first slides, especially when you don't necessarily plan it. I mean, like when you just do it. I mean, you slide too late usually when you slide head first and first base.
But you can understand probably why they do it, though, right?
Well, they're trying to get a base hit. They're trying to get to the bag, but it's just not a good play for me. And judging by all the injuries over the last few years, it's not a good play for a lot of the players.
No, very true.
You're seeing guys now more and more wearing those oven mitts, you know what I mean?
It is 1-2 now on Robbie Grossman.
In our era, we did it a little bit differently when you were on first base. Either you took your batting gloves and put them in your hand so that when you did hit the ground, if you were sliding, you wouldn't jam your wrist. Or you would simply take some dirt and put it in your hand.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. Anything that you could do to have a fist so that when you did run down there and you did slide, you didn't jar, you did not jam your wrist.
Swing and a miss. He tied him up and struck him out with that deadly slider again. Bruce Rondon marches off the mound with a 1-2-3 inning, but he got some help. How about this play by Iglesias? To the ninth inning here, Tigers holding on to that 2-run lead. It's been this way since both teams got 3 in the 4th. Battle of the bullpens the rest of the way, and the Twins now have Craig Breslow coming in.
And Breslow pitching in his 29th game this year. ERA is over 5, but you take a look at his numbers against left-handers. Left-handers are hitting him at a 176 clip, whereas right-handers hitting 349 against Breslow. Not a hard thrower. Fastball tops out at about 89. Throws lots of curveballs, lots of changeups.
It'll go to work now against Iglesias.
And there was that first pitch fastball at 89.
Breslow will turn 37 years of age next month. Shot to left field, base hit.
Nice job by Iggy going to the bottom of the strike zone to get that pitch after making a dazzling defensive play last half inning for the second out of the bottom half of the 8th. This ball is down, and Iglesias goes down to get it and rips it back to the pull field.
So the Tigers now have their 10th hit. See if they can get Iglesias in as Kinsler strolls to the plate. He hit the ball hard as last time, lined out to left field. Iglesias will draw a throw.
Looks like the last couple of days Ian starting to make a few adjustments as far as getting down through the baseball. Not as many pop-ups and flyouts.
The closer, Justin Wilson, is warming up. Yeah, that's a good thing because it seems like Kinsler would go through those stretches even when he's going really good. All of a sudden he pops one straight up and then it's like 3 or 4 in a row.
Yeah, yeah. And he went through that a little bit over there the last couple of days. And
boy, he had in Kansas City a really good series at the beginning.
Yeah, 4 extra base hits in the first 2 days,
including a pair of triples in game 1. Wilson will have Rosario, Adrianza, and Castro 7, 8, 9, and a chance to wash away the difficult game he had in KC 2 nights ago.
Breslow's been around a long time, man.
05 was his first year. San Diego.
Yep.
Cleveland, Minnesota a couple of times. Oakland, Boston, Miami. Oh, they got him picked off. And here's the throw to second, not in time. It was high. Iglesias able to beat it out.
And Joe Mauer took a long time getting that ball from his glove to his throwing hand, and then took even longer to throw the ball with that long arm action, and that's why Iglesias is safe. When you play first base, you have to have a shorter arm action, and he had more of a catcher's throwing motion there than a first baseman's throwing motion there, and that's why Iglesias is able to steal that base even though he's picked off.
That's exactly what it looked like, a catcher throwing. And so it'll be a steal for Iggy, and that'll put him in scoring position now with nobody out.
When you watch Miggy perform that same play when one of the Tigers pitchers have picked off a base runner, he grabs that ball and then he simply throws it and flips it down there sidearmed a lot of times, not over the top.
One and one on Kinsler.
I don't think Iglesias is thinking about trying to steal third base, but they're not really paying a whole lot of attention to him. Dozier, the second baseman, is about 15-20 feet away from the second base bag, and also the shortstop is a ways away too. I mean, that's quite a bit of room there, quite a bit of room over here. It looks like Dozier's the one that's holding them on. It's easier to steal third base than it is to steal second base.
There's a base hit to right field. Iglesias coming to third. They're going to stop in there.
Nice job by Ian Kinsler.
Kinsler with his first hit of the night.
Runner on second base. Nobody out. He was simply trying to do a job. And by simply trying to do the job, a real nice swing with a parallel shoulders and a nice line drive. No pop up in that swing right there, buddy.
Now the Tigers in business here with nobody out. A couple extra runs wouldn't hurt, would it?
They'll take them.
Here is Avila. Tigers now have 11 hits.
And we gave you some numbers on Breslow, and left-handers are hitting 176 against him, and right-handers are hitting well above 300 against him. But Brad electing to allow Avila to swing the bat here with a runner on third, less than 2 outs, instead of McCann.
Infield in. And Avila drives it in the air deep into center field. Granite is on the run. He'll get there. It'll score the run. And he quickly gets the ball back in. Sac fly. Nice job by Avila.
Nice at bat by Avila, hanging that breaking ball.
Fans, RBI Baseball 2017 is out now for Xbox One, PS4, iOS, and Android. Enjoy fast-paced pick-up and play MLB action packed with all your favorite MLB teams, players, ballparks, and more. Learn more at RBIGame.com. RBI number 30 for Avila. And now a 3-run lead for the Tigers. Here's Justin Upton. Strike called on J-Up. And that ball clearly looked outside. Upton has a double. He has a walk, a steal, and an RBI. Still looking to get Jay up that home run ball. It's been a little bit for him.
Been a minute.
6:29, the 29th of June. That last home run.
That has been a minute.
Upton on the season has 15. There is Presley warming up. Tigers have added one more here in the ninth. They lead 6-3. Oh, 0-2. A lot of action in the Tigers box. The 2 for 4 for Martinez is 2 homers. Now they go 2. Upton takes high. Romine waiting on deck. We'll see if Cabrera is able to play tomorrow. He's day to day. Took that ground ball off his collarbone.
It's going to be sore. That much we do know. That was a wicked ground ball that jumped up and bit Miguel earlier in the game.
Tigers got a leadoff single by Iglesias. He was picked off but stole second when Mauer's throw was late. Then a base hit by Kinsler and a sac fly by Avila. The hometown crowd is booing Breslow.
Yeah, they are.
The run here by the Tigers in the ninth is the first for either team since the 4th inning tonight. Runner goes and is fouled away.
Yeah, Ian Kinsler also had a really good jump He went on first movement, and as soon as Breslow picked that right foot up, Ian was on the move, and if he picks, you're out. But if he pitches, as he did, you get a stolen base if the ball's not fouled off.
Upton doubled in a run back in the third. Chopper right back up the middle. Adrian to the second one. Relay to first is not in time. Bang, bang play. Pretty close play.
Yeah, slow developing. Not hit hard enough to double up Jay up. They did a nice job up the middle, though, trying to turn it.
Here's Romine.
Romine with one at bat in the game. Hit the ball sharply his last time up, but it was right to the shortstop. And one more look. Upton hitting the front part of the bag, which is what you're taught to do when running down the line. Hit the first and part of the bag that you could get to.
Pulled to third. Sano with a backhanded play, and his throw across the diamond is in time. Tigers settle for one run, but it's a biggie. Here comes Justin Wilson now, protecting a 3-run lead. Minnesota Twins, we go to the bottom of the ninth. Tigers now with a 3-run lead, and they have their closer on the mound. Justin Wilson will try and shut this one down.
And he blew a save just a couple of days ago. That was in the third game of the 4-game series in Kansas City. But by and large, since taking over the closer's role, he's been pretty good. His overall earned run average is at .275. His whip is under 1. He has struck out 50 in just 38 games, and the majority of his strikeouts have come on that 4-seam fastball in the mid-90s.
Well, Wilson now will face the bottom 3. It'll be Eddie Rosario to lead it off. Then Adrianza and Castro. Wilson delivers ball 1. Rosario 1 for 6, 3 strikeouts against the left-hander Wilson.
And there are many experts out there that believe that Justin Wilson is one of the better trading chips the Tigers have remaining if they do decide to move some more pieces. They've already moved J.D. Martinez to the Arizona Diamondbacks, and there's a lot of rumors swirling out there regarding their closer, Justin Wilson. And the reason why he could bring back quite a bit is controllable. He's not making a whole lot of money. It's a few more years before he's a free agent, so he might be able to bring you back some pretty good players if you do move him.
I think teams love those power arms in the postseason as well, especially left-handed power arms.
Yeah, I love power arms in the bullpen as well for the postseason. I don't like the guys that pitch to contact because you never know what kind of contact that's going to be. I like guys that can strike guys out. And Wilson can do that.
Swing and a miss. 2-2 now on Rosario.
I think one pitch, I mean, the pitches that he would like to have back the most a couple of nights ago was the 4-pitch walk to Escobar, the shortstop.
No doubt. No doubt. That was followed by the double from Moss, which tied the game. Rosario barely staying alive.
And it's not so much the walk, but it's the fact that going into that at bat, Alcides Escobar had only walked 8 times in over 350 at bats.
Yeah, good point. Swing and a miss. Rosario's out of there, 1 gone. Let's bring in Trevor Thompson.
Well, Mario, just 2 more outs before the Tigers make a winner of Anibal Sanchez here tonight. We'll get inside the clubhouse for the postgame edition of Tigers Live and get his thoughts on his starts tonight. We'll also find out about the condition, update you on Miguel Cabrera, and we'll get with Victor Martinez after 2 big home runs to help propel the Tigers to what we hope to be will be a victory with 2 more outs, guys. Back up to you.
All right, Trev, here is Adrianza.
Sounds like a jam-packed postgame to me.
One ball to no strikes on Adrianza. Had a big 2-run single, clutch hit for them back in the 4th, which got him to within a couple of runs, 5-3, but now it's 6-3. Fouled back out of play. Escobar has moved to the on-deck circle, so he will bat for Castro, who's left-handed. Twins, with the Indians winning tonight, would fall a 1.5 games back in the Central. Bang that one off his foot. Well, we have what, about 10 days till the trading deadline. So time is ticking, and we'll see if the Tigers, or when the Tigers, make more moves, which is anticipated.
And there will probably be a lot of activity next week. Justin Verlander, his name continues to be bantered about as well.
The 1-2. Popped him up. Left side of the infield for Iglesias. 2 gone. Just gonna leave it up to Escobar now. He's their last chance. One for 5 career against Wilson with a strikeout. Tiger bullpen tonight doing a tremendous job, from Stump to Greeny on to Rondon, and now Wilson here in the 9th. Here's the 0-1. Top of the order, Dozier waiting on deck. Should Escobar keep it going? It'll be outside. The count goes 2-1.
So good breaking ball there. 90-mile-per-hour cutter with slider action.
And now Wilson has reduced this game to a single strike. Escobar came into this one batting .387 over his last 16, trying to keep things alive here for the Twins. Here's the 2-2 inside, 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Well, here comes that fastball, and it's going to be about 96 miles an hour. And what Jay Willie will do, he'll try to throw it right down the middle.
Outside, he walked him.
He threw a changeup there.
2-out walk. Keep the game going. Now Dozier will step in. Dozier had a single in the first inning, his only hit tonight.
Dozier's also made a really nice play in the game earlier to take a base hit away from Kinsler, wasn't it?
It was. To start the ball game.
Right.
It's a big run the Tigers got on the top of this inning because Dozier would be the tying run at the plate here.
Yeah, and he's got a lot of power. He's already homered 15 times this year.
0-1. Wilson missing way high. Jimenez has moved to the on-deck circle. See if he gets a chance. The 1-0. Bottom of the strike zone, 1-1. 97-mile-an-hour fastball from Justin Wilson. Wilson assumed the closer's role when Francisco Rodriguez was taken out of that spot. Francisco really struggled. Runner going, and it's a ground ball to short. Iglesias on the backhand. His throw is in time, and the Tigers will win game 1 in this series against the Twins. 6-3 your final score. Now we send you to the Call Sam Studios. Mickey York standing by with Tigers Live postgame.